if that was me and somebody gave me $200 million for my company, there's some family members that I would very gladly deny.
You've been trying to join our polycule, and people were like, hey! So remember what I told you about polycule? And then the second question is about the late Buhari, but let's start with... No, I'm just preparing you.
Welcome, guys. It is another episode of OffAir with
Mimi.
And I'm Tools. How you doing? All right. Oh my gosh. You guys have been on our case. Like, over the last few weeks, Twitter everywhere was on fire.
My favorite app.
And then you guys are like, I can't wait. And you need to remember that we don't shoot... We sometimes shoot in advance. So if something big has happened and then the next episode of OffAir airs and we don't talk about it, it's because we shot it before.
Yeah.
So yeah, first of all, hey, where did the fire start? Let's see what happens with his lawyers.
Who?
The former co-founder of Paystack.
Ezra.
Yes. I mean, the most recent news for now is that he has been fired. Mm-hmm. And he's responded saying that he believes that there was like an investigation and, you know, he just doesn't know where the
he said they haven't
came.
even, spoken with him or anything like that.
So he was under fire because of some tweets from back in the day. Mm-hmm. And these tweets were, we all tweeted silliness back in the day, but these tweets were way more than
quite wild. They were on a bit unhinged. Very unhinged. Quite disturbing. There was talk about violating pussycats. There was talk basically
about...
cats. He has a lot of cats.
Yes.
So, basically things like sexual acts with cats.
Yeah.
Things like, tweets that made me uncomfortable.
If this was in another country, you know, RSPCA or the animal, whatever, they would have gone to his house.
Done a protest.
They would have gone to his house and packed all the cats.
Yeah.
They're like, you know, anyways. And there were some even more disturbing tweets about sex with minors and everything, which there was a part of me that I was just like, okay, so is this something... I used to tweet random stuff, but is this in that category? And I don't think it is. And I think a lot of people, quite rightly, were made very uncomfortable by those tweets. And something had to happen. Something absolutely had to happen. But I kept thinking, he's a tech bro. Couldn't you have scrubbed your timeline?
Exactly, especially when you had become, in his own words, unbelievably wealthy. Or liquid. He called it liquid. Liquid. So I think in 2020 or so, their company was, they got funding or they were bought over and they got it was $200 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's life-changing money. That's change your destiny money. That's change your lineage money. Anyway, look...
See, if that was me and somebody gave me $200 million for my company, there's some family members that I would very gladly deny. I would scrub it's like a distant, you know. So I just don't understand because this is somebody that is in, you know, tech, essentially. And I'm sure he must have heard of situations where somebody's like previous tweet, somebody's previous, you know, and this is a lesson for everybody.
Yes.
Nothing you put on the internet can be deleted.
Even when you delete tweets, did you know that you can go to, I think, a particular website and still find deleted tweets and stuff from back in the day.
So if you delete it, it doesn't mean it's gone away. But I do believe that there is a way. There are probably several processes, and not everybody knows about this, where you can completely erase, you know, certain like posts and everything. It's a very tricky and tedious process, but I know it does happen. There must be people that know about that. But regular folk, me and you need to be very careful about what you put out there because this is actually, I've heard of situations like this many times. There was somebody that got this big job. He was the editor of, I can't remember what magazine. I want to say GQ, but I'm not sure. And again, I don't even know who did it. They pulled up some of his old tweets. He got the job. It was a big job, a big paying position. He got the job, and I don't know how, but they saw some of his old tweets, and he got, like, I think before he officially started, he was fired.
Yeah. So, and this is even why when you apply for visas now, certain countries ask for your social media handles, and if they find out that you don't put your social media handle, list it on your application, you could also get denied that visa. So be very, very careful. Go through all we all, especially if you're a millennial or Gen Z, we grew up, quote unquote, with social media in that in your formative years or whatever, it was new to us. We didn't know if it was going to exist in the next 5 years or whatever it is. So just go through your old, like, do you ever see your old posts from like Facebook and you're like, what the heck was I, like, especially that time when we used to put in a relationship with, or I remember I had put in a relationship. I didn't say with who. You could say with who then. And then when we broke up, I changed it to no longer in a relationship, and people were like, you people broke up. And now I'm thinking, what was I thinking? Like, allowing people know what I was doing,
or your business. I think about my past tweets. They were just weird. When I say weird, you'd probably think, if you read some of my past tweets, you would have probably thought I was a stoner.
Screaming.
Because I would tweet like, I wonder if cockroaches cry or something like that, just, random stuff. And it was Twitter. I was like, nobody's even reading this.
We were the first set of people to use
I'm like,
Twitter.
Nobody cares. This is something that's going to disappear like in a while. And I don't know. And I tried not to, I think I also tried not to be like, super offensive. I mean, if I did offend you, sorry.
Yeah, like even Instagram now, the way we use Instagram now is different from then. That time you could take a picture of the sky and just say sunset. Or a cup of coffee and be like, coffee. Or something. But now, if you post that, now people will be like, what's that? But yeah, so just be careful.
Yeah, 2025 Instagram, if you're going to post a picture of yourself, it has to be like one that a professional photographer has taken. Everything else, just put in your stories. All right, so that happened, and then it led to a crazy situation again on Twitter. Because, okay, Gbemi knows what a polycule is. I don't really know.
So let me explain to you how this Ezra thing happened in the first place. So there is a young lady called Ozzy Etome. And Ozzy was very popular on Twitter in that, and I say was because as at now, as we're recording this, she had to deactivate her account. And this story is long, but I'm going to try my best to reduce it. And there was also another lady called Maki. Maki was a queer woman, Nigerian woman living in the US or wherever she is now. And she has a wife. I think they're married now. Okay. So it's two women. And Maki had known of Ezra since she was a teenager. And then she approached him, allegedly, even though she said it, so that he could join her and her wife's union, and so they became a polycule. I learnt about the word polycule recently. So yes, and why is this important? Okay, so she tweeted something.
Can I put my hands down now? You guys understand.
So Maki tweeted something about taking her wife's name and something to do with money, and because her wife had money or something along the privilege of financial privilege or something, and then Ozzy, they followed each other, said this is a dangerous thing to say. Because I think Maki had also said women should think about this. Yeah. And then Ozzy had said, I think this is dangerous to say because are you now saying that? So just, the way it's for conversation. And then Maki fired back. And
this was on the timeline, not via DMs.
Yes, and said, why would you, even if you don't agree with me, DM me. Which I agree with. You don't have to open me up to your minions attacking me. We thought that was the end, but it went on and on and on. And then Maki, for 3 days, was firing tweets at Ozzy saying, oh, you are the one who've been trying to, you've been trying to be my friend. You've been trying to join our polycule. And people were like, hey! So remember what I told you about polycule? Anyway, cut long story short, people now started dragging Ozzy as well because they're like, because of money, you wanted to join polycule.
Because they said Ezra is very liquid.
It's very liquid and all that. And then, And then when he started going on and on, people were now like, "You, Maki, rest now. Don't do now." Ozzy said, "Now, wow, we're not even that close. We're not even friends." Or something along the lines. So one day, we woke up to, first of all, Maki started tweeting about how she met this. She first of all was referring to him as John Doe. Started referring to, and talking about how she met him, how she approached him. She was the one who approached him and said, "Come and join us," meaning her and her wife. And so it became this polycule, and they traveled together somewhere, and they took a picture sometime last year or 2 years ago, and they posted the picture of 3 of them, and then Twitter went crazy. I'll never forget. And the tweet was the delicious disobedience of it all. And people were like, "Now, wow, it must be nice to have money. You have money, and 2 women you are in a relationship with 2 women, and you're open. This one that we're talking about." And people were like, "Oh," because they also thought that Ezra was queer.
Yeah, I thought he was gay. I thought he was gay for the longest time.
For those of you who don't understand why, he frequently would paint his nails, wear makeup.
It's a little bit effeminate, right?
Yeah, it was a bit effeminate and all that. So different things, right? And then what then happened?
So essentially, Maki,
she's the one.
She actually took out 2.
They're calling her
important.
What's up, that guy?
Somebody called her suicide bomber.
No, not suicide bomber. Somebody called her. You know that guy that was in Avengers that killed everybody. So hey, Thanos. She even posted a Thanos gif. Yeah. So anyway, cut long story short, this
she
house she did a 30-minute live where nobody else spoke but her, and she explained how she met him, how he gave her a $55,000 loan towards her brother's masters. It was a long. I'm not ashamed. I listened to everything. I listened to it. Put headphones. I listened, and she was calling him John Doe. The next day, we woke up to many of his tweets from 2010, 2011, 2012. Who
started looking for the tweets?
She probably did it. Let me tell you something. And she is one of those people, is like, if you break up with her, she will ruin your life, allegedly. Because before she was married to this woman, before this polycule situation, she was engaged to one doctor who is based abroad. And that one came to say that she's batshit crazy, and that if you see her run, we did not take him seriously then. So anyway, long story short, she now, in this 30-minute live, she also spoke about how he allegedly tried to get her arrested at the airport. She explained that that she also noticed that once her and the guy had sex, that she noticed that he was very disrespectful. He was very disrespectful not just to her, but to women. He was disrespectful to his staff, especially his domestic staff was particularly nasty, allegedly, according to her.
Allegedly.
And also that
we're talking about someone else money for.
And he was also allegedly sleeping with subordinates, and a lot of stuff was happening in the office and things like that. So she said when things were not going well anymore, she decided to pay a visit to Nigeria, because she doesn't live in Nigeria, and to just say, okay, we're not together anymore, but we'll be cool, right? On that visit, she mentioned to him that she wasn't sleeping well, and she was like, "Oh, do you have edibles?" And so he arranged for her to get edibles. They were chocolate edibles, and she said that he knew every aspect of her flight, like what airline, what time she was leaving, and so on. So maybe he thought that she would travel with the remaining, but she didn't finish it. And that he kept asking, "You're on so and so flight, right? At so and so time." And she said she noticed that when she checked in, people were following her in the airport. And then when she was about to board, this is what she said. She was pulled aside, and they searched every single hair on her body, that they even pulled her luggage from the plane when they didn't find anything on her and searched. And much to their disappointment, they didn't find anything, and they let her go. But she was very, very sure that he was the one that set it up. So that was according to her. She also said, well, it's a lot. It's a long story. Anyway, so she did this. Then Ezra's tweets came up, and people were now, going crazy about those tweets. And then there was this drama. I saw your eyes are twinkling. And then then she was not
It's like the chief reporter, man. I'm just like,
get out. And then there was this whole drama about her and Ozzy. She was like, "Oh, so we're not friends, Abby, or we're not close, Abby." And then so she now went and did screenshots of all her tweets, her DMs with Ozzy over the years, people that they had gossiped about that were there. It was a mess. It was a whole mess.
It was a mess. And I just woke up and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm trying to catch up. And then in one of our groups, Baby was now breaking it down. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think everybody that heard that story literally went through their DMs and was just like, okay. Thankfully, I don't think I said anything. But you know me, I can't even remember.
That's the thing. So it's crazy.
And then obviously, Ozzy is known to be well, amongst other things, like a feminist, and that whole thing then started a new wave, and people were saying, okay, look at all you young ladies, look at the person you look up to, blah blah blah.
Look at her gossiping about you in her DMs, blah blah.
So all of these different things, like something would happen, and I'd want to absorb it, but then something else happens, and something else happens, and then something happens.
There was a lot.
And then it was, talk about feminists and how, I really didn't like the way that this whole thing, some people decided to try and just basically break down and eradicate feminism. I think what's important, and this is my takeaway from this, a lot of this stuff, a lot of very juicy gist and juicy shit happened, and I was just like,
salacious gossip.
Lots of it, and I love that. Anyways, so at the end of the day, I really think that people should really understand what feminism actually means, because there's some feminists, and I think we've talked about what Chiamanda said
that are just wicked,
that are just nasty, that are just wicked. I do not believe that feminism goes hand in hand with misandry. I don't think that to qualify as a feminist,
you have to hate
men. I think it's ridiculous, and all of those. Oh, I hate men, or I just don't agree with that.
The reason why people were rejoicing, especially people who are anti-feminist, was because in the DM she was discussing how she was going to leave her marriage, and then they were going back and discussing stuff. I would say this: just because a woman says she's a feminist does not mean that all women are her best friends. You don't like every man if you're a man. You don't like every woman if you're a woman, and so let's please educate ourselves. And just because somebody that you don't like maybe gets into some trouble or is being dragged, don't now use it as a brush to paint every person that believes in the ideology that they believe in. Simple. Just the same way you don't like it when a man messes up and people are then like, oh, you see now all men.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. But anyway, the story is long. It's very long. And I know there's already going to be some people that are going to be in the comments or in the, and be saying, no, that's not what happened. It's okay. We have limited time. We have limited time for this. Let's move on. Another person who can't seem to get over a breakup.
Yes. Big shout out to Jay's Diner. This episode is long, and yes, I am hungry, in case you're wondering. People are like, Tuesday was hungry. Yes, I'm hungry. Anyways, let's just have a look. It's been a while since we did OffAir React, so we're going to watch a quick video. But, yo, that thing was long, man.
See, my mouth is paining me.
It was.
See, this just even longer, but I don't have the energy or the time.
I just heard that money was flowing. Money flow.
We believe you, Grandpa. So all this was when they go up and down. They explain. No need. He say, okay, she dey drink.
Okay.
She dey smoke. He dey do igbo. We believe. When elder see say small pikin dey do nonsense, wetin dey talk? Na small pikin dey do am. Just accept. Na small pikin she be. Maybe next time when you see small pikin, you leave. Abi so that me no call your house because they do nonsense.
What is it?
No, that's not accepted again in your house. When they see the fine person,
I don't know which
don't.
No,
sure.
That's different meanings.
So we go up and down. They go up and down. They explain for what? Now we they explain give. What is the expected go happen? We'll reprimand her. All of us were in as small children. Your age mates. Your age mates no dey. I don't want to say post another statement too. I don't want to catch you doing another TED talk. Just forget about it. Move on. Yes, women plenty. Waiting. Be like fish. Them plenty.
In his house.
Yeah. John knows that food chop. Don't avoid Gen Z. Any small children you see, don't forget them. Fashion day. May focus on the mature ones like me. You get.
Is it now? I will say this. He said next. Okay, Maraji is very funny. I will say this.
Maraji. I love her.
I will say this. She said, "Oh, next time don't follow Gen Z. Next time follow mama like me." Maraji, even you are old for the man. Even us, we are old for the man. That uncle is my
Isn't he 60? How old is he?
How old is he? How? Please, somebody Google real quick. That's old now. But you know what? Why? Okay, this person has decided, and I agree. She has decided she doesn't want to be married to you anymore, be with you anymore. Why are you holding press conferences?
Huh? 64. He's 64. I thought he was a bit older. I thought he was like close to 70.
Whatever the case may be, sir, that kind of person, you can't call him by name. Hello, sir. Even us.
You have to call him sir in the house.
that's her business. Because she too.
Because even the age difference, that's even way, that's like...
You know what? She's not my relative. She's not my friend. Like I said in previous episodes, we've never met before. But she married this man. Mm-hmm. Anytime there was any news about her, I used to scroll because, again, I was so totally uninterested, uninvested. But now she has decided she doesn't want again. Why is sir, uncle, grandpa telling us she's on drugs, she used to drink? Okay, sorry, but she doesn't want again.
People said this. People said that, okay, when Baba decided to leave Annie, that he didn't, because he didn't want to be in that marriage anymore. Everybody was like coming against him. But now, when she's, when she wants to leave Grandpa Ned, people are now like, no, this and this. So people are just saying different things. But I would say this, right? In terms of, what do we call him? He's a senator, right?
Sir. Uncle.
Okay.
Senator.
Yes. Senator Grandpa Ned.
Sir.
Yes. So what I would say about this is, this is the most I have read about him on social media everywhere. And that's not a good thing, because as a senator, I haven't seen this much about your work. I haven't seen this much about what you're doing. Literally, all I know is that you like younger, I was going to say young girls, allegedly. You allegedly like younger women, and you like to have, a harem. Yes, that's very true. He likes to have that. I'm not quite familiar about your work, and we do not need regular updates. She was essentially a teenager when he married her. She was essentially a teenager when you married her. You marry a teenage girl, you marry a young girl, and the age gap is like that wide. You can just imagine the kind of relationship issues you're going to have. You marry a teenager, allegedly, you're going to have like teenage girl relationship problems. So why are you now every business day updating us about... You were the one that put yourself in this situation.
She said,
and she wants to leave. She's shown you, she was, Why is
this our business?
Wait. Something happened there. Happened. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it later. Like she's been out clubbing. She's out clubbing and everything, and let her go. What's that song? Let her go. Let her go. It's enough. You have like about 10 other wives in your house.
We just don't need the frequent...
Imagine
the frequent stories of she was on drugs, she was on. She's going.
If that was my uncle, I'd be ashamed.
Let us rest.
I'd be like,
let us rest.
What do you want to say? Don't let me not be the only person that talks it. Talk it.
We know someone who is his relative now.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, I'd be like, it's okay, you don't need to update. Oh, and then she did this, and then she did that.
We're not interested, sir.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, so yeah, best of luck to everybody. And I think it's so funny. I think there's a part of me that just thinks it's so funny because this guy is losing his freaking mind and she is turning the fuck up. And I'm just like... That's what you should have been doing before you decided to get married to Gramps. All right, then. On that note, so what's happening next? We have got quite a few guests for this episode.
It's a packed episode.
Did I say allegedly enough?
We said it's allegedly. We should just wear t-shirts.
Yes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a tattoo that says allegedly. Allegedly. Okay, so yes, we've got like a ton of guests for this episode, so make sure you stick around. All right.
She's popularly known as MommyChopLife, but she said we can also call her Sheyi. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk about Japada. For those who don't understand what that means, so we all know, if you're Nigerian or not, you know the term Japa. This is when you leave Nigeria to another country for a better life or whatever, better opportunities. But now there's a wave of Nigerians who go there, don't like it so much, and then come back. So it's called Japada. They've come back. All right. So why did you decide to leave Nigeria in the first place?
Lord have mercy. So first things first, let me say, I don't know if my case is considered Japa because I left when I was 16. I left for school.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a say in the matter.
Okay.
My parents said, I wanted to go to Unilag. Unilag didn't give me admission. Side-eye. So
how lucky you are.
And then I wanted to go to Covenant as well, but they kind of just forced me. So I left at like 16. Is that considered Japa?
Sort of, kind of.
So I actually left.
Okay.
So that was the reason I left for school as an international student. Yeah.
Okay. And then while you were there, what was the whole, coming
the process.
back? Yeah, exactly.
So it's a long journey.
Okay.
So it's not linear. So after I was an international student for like 2 years, my parents had the foresight back then. This is like, 16, 18 years ago. To file for Canadian residency before it was a thing. So 2 years into going to school in the States, we got our residency. So I just moved over to Canada.
Okay.
And then I was there for a while.
Okay.
I tried to come back midway through, but my parents were like, no. I spent a couple of months in Nigeria. I came back. I was like, I'm not doing it again. I've never really been an abroad girl. Like, I just had no choice really but to be there. I'm a Nigerian girl at heart, I feel like. So after a couple of months in Nigeria, they were like, what are you doing here? Go back. So I went back, spent a bit more time in Canada, went to France for my master's. And once I was done with that, I was like, okay, I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I'm coming back. And then I came back. But then I went back again.
So are you saying that abroad life did not suit you? It wasn't appealing to you at all?
It wasn't appealing to me. I mean, I can survive anywhere.
Yeah.
So I did what I had to do, but it just wasn't for me. And
what did you not like about it?
First of all, I don't like being a minority. I like to blend in. I like to be around people that look like me, understand my culture, my nuances, pronounce my name properly, just a lot of little things that I'm sure some people will roll their eyes at. But to me, that was important. So and then I was in Canada, 6 months out of the year is cold, and I always dealt with seasonal depression. I just never enjoyed being abroad. I mean, I had fun, I made it work, and there's also this misconception that if you don't like abroad, it means you're suffering. I think I was living a pretty chill
I was going to
life.
ask, like, what line of work were you doing after school?
After school, I worked in banking, then I worked in marketing. And I was making good money, very comfortable, even as of the time where we moved back, my family and I, we had just like upgraded our house. We're chilling. So it's not like we're suffering. People come to my TikTok, they're like, oh, bill stroke abroad. Oh, people are packing shifts.
So you got married while you were there?
It was one of my Japada attempts. Yeah, in 2017, I came back to Nigeria after my master's, just to spend a couple of years, relax, enjoy, spend my money. And then I got married and I was like, okay, it's time to be a serious adult. And to be very honest, it's easier to adult or like set the foundation, set yourself up properly abroad than it is here, in my opinion.
Okay.
How so? Okay, I'll give you the example. Buying a property is way easier there. Easier.
I mean, you have access to mortgage if you have good credit and stuff like that. Yeah.
So here, where they want you to bring 400 million naira cash.
Bam.
Bakam. Where am I supposed to get it from? But there, you put down your deposits, things
you
are
can pay
predictable.
for
You
up
can
to 20
save.
years, 30 years,
exactly,
or whatever.
Instead of renting for 20, 30 years and all that. So that's how I wanted to set myself up, establish my career there in a place where things work. Understand how things should work before I come and enter the anyhowness. So that's basically what happened.
What about your family? What about your family? Because I know for a lot of people that do Japa, one of the things that they struggle with the most is relationships. So when I say relationships, like the fact that I used to live with my brother, or my brother's down the road, and now we are like thousands of miles apart. Yeah. My mom, somebody was, I think I was watching it on a different podcast. Yeah. They were actually talking about the fact that a lot of people that have Japad, right, and their parents are still in Nigeria, they get to see them, if they're lucky, maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
If that.
And then, and then if you think about, and it made me really sad because he then went on to say, if you think about how many years our parents have left. There's some people that literally you've got 20 more visitations with your parents. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then somebody else was talking about how difficult it is having a baby and not having like your auntie, your uncle, your this, just different people that will come. And I had a friend that literally, I was thinking, oh my gosh, do I have to fly there to go and make sure she's okay? She was having a baby by herself. I don't know, her mom wasn't in the country then, one auntie sort of had to come, but literally this was her first child by herself. So was that also part of why you decided to move back?
Not really, because even while I was away, I would come to Nigeria once, twice a year.
You just never wanted to leave Nigeria.
I would come for a month, 2 months, and people would be like, "Do you live here?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just here for a while." I just had the luxury of doing that, and my parents also, because 2 of my sisters are still in Canada. My parents shuttle; they go for a couple of months, they come back to Nigeria. So I was lucky in that way. My core friends, I have core friends. Don't be offended. A lot of my day ones were in Nigeria, and I also had day ones in Canada. So for me, if I was there, if I was here, it was almost the same thing.
So you had friends everywhere.
Everywhere. So ultimately, it was just personal preference for me.
Okay, so a lot of people think, because one of the major reasons why as adults people leave Nigeria in the first place is for a better life, for better opportunities for their families, for money, basically. So a lot of people, and the reason why I feel like you get sometimes dragged on your social media is because...
You get dragged a lot.
Oh, yeah. Because people are very upset that she came back. People are upset that she also
They think I'm deceiving people.
Yeah, because she... Okay, also people think... A lot of times people also think that you are in the same financial class as everybody. So everybody jackpotting, yes. It costs a lot of money to do that. But at the same time, not everybody is jackpotting and going to work work in a care home, or go and live in a house with like 16 people. It's not, everybody doesn't have the same story. So when you come back, it's like, how dare you? We're dying to leave. People are crossing the desert to leave. If you've seen Oloture, you've seen the movie Oloture on Netflix, you understand how people struggle to leave this country. So there's a woman who was on, I think she was on, was it Lege Miami's? I can't remember who's live. And she spoke about how she traveled by land through 14 countries to get to where Mexico or the US. Wow. And I was just like, wait, what? What?
It's actually wild, because every now and then I do get the question, why are you still here? And I think that's going to be like sort of the next question I'm going to ask you, because for me, there's a certain way of life. There's a certain way of life. And I think having children as well. Like my friends that have children that are still living in London, when they tell me how much it costs
for childcare.
It is crazy. And this is not like a live-in nanny. This is, you drop your child off at daycare and you come back after work and everything. And I think about it, and obviously, as the country changed, as, the Naira crash and everything, that was something that crossed my mind, like, okay, is it time for us to move? Is it time for us to relocate? And we literally broke it down. We broke down like our, current way of life and what we'd have to deal with and everything. First of all, labor is cheap here. Labor is very cheap. Labor is cheap enough for you to I have 2 nannies. I've got 2 children. I've got 2 nannies. Anybody that has anything to say to that? Anyways, got 2 nannies, you got your driver, you've got like, I don't have like a housemaid. I don't have like I don't have like a chef. But there's certain things that actually help
your quality
my life.
Of life. Yes.
And you can't have that.
Yes. I'm going back to UK. I don't have a driver unless Uber or whatever. And then in terms of childcare, like the amounts that you have to pay. So it's ridiculous. So I think that when you compare, I can completely understand. I completely understand. But I think you like you have like last giddy blood in you, man.
I do.
And I completely
there's
get
a trade-off, right? Quality of life versus functioning society. It's just pick one, ultimately.
But it's weird, because my friends, when we catch up, it's like Nigeria is crazy.
It is.
Nigeria is crazy, but there's just some kind of craziness in Nigeria that sometimes you're just like, it's like a Fast and Furious. It's crazy. But my friends, when I was speaking to them and they're talking, I'm like, it sounds like you just work in like a mundane factory. It's just very, very mundane.
For some.
And I've always said that in countries like the UK, they make it very, very difficult for you to be rich and stay rich. Because you know that the more you earn, you get into a higher class of tax bracket. So basically, the sweet spot is for you to be earning about, what is it? I worked it out. So there's a part where you go from 30% tax to like 40% tax, which is almost half your money. So the sweet spot is to just be at the top of that 30%.
That happened to me in Canada. I was earning a certain amount and my take home was, let's say, A. And then when I got earned higher, it pushed me into a higher tax bracket, so my take home was less.
Yeah.
So that happens.
It's actually wild. So you could actually, if you just enter that 40%, you could technically be making more, as in your salary is more. But by the time they tax you, you could be making less than what you were making when you were in the 30% tax bracket. Yeah. So I can understand that. So what else made you move back?
Also from day one, I knew I was going to come back.
Yeah.
So that's
so you knew.
Yeah. So from day one, I was going to, well, my parents were like, no, because I was younger at the time. But like now, I knew I was going to come back. And then when I had my son, I was like, yeah, I'm not raising this boy in this country where everything goes. So that's another thing people on my social media talk about. When I say, because I had this video out about raising my child in Nigeria versus in Canada. Hey, in the West, anything your eyes see, collect, because anything goes. In the schools, anything goes. I remember this lady commented, oh, you could just send your child to a Catholic school. I'm like, do you know what's happening in Catholic schools?
Exactly. There's a lot happening.
So I don't want to use, my dad would say, use your hands, use your money to buy problem. And that was one of the things. Also in terms of community. So I left when I was like 16, right? It was a bit difficult to adjust, but it was okay. I don't want my son to grow up where people can't pronounce his name, or he's mispronouncing his name, or he's the odd one out in school. And like it or not, Black kids are treated differently.
Yeah. Black people.
Immigrant kids are treated differently. I don't want him to grow up feeling like he doesn't like his skin, or he doesn't like his hair, or he wants his name to be Tom. Things like
saying
that.
all these things, but
he's now known as Sean.
I mean, I went through all that. Going to school, and on the first day of classes, they'll do the attendance, and there's a pause, and I know it's because they've put my full African name, and I'm like, yep, it's me.
Don't even try.
And it's like, how can we pronounce it? And then you're there like, just call me Sola. It's okay. Because how you gonna tell this person Adegbemi Sola? How is that gonna work? Like, exactly. So there were so many things that I dealt with, people asking me ridiculous questions. And it wasn't just white people, it was also Black people asking, oh my God, your English is so good. Do y'all have like lions and tigers?
The States?
The US, all of that. One of
the statements that I hated the most is like when people found out I was Nigerian, they're like, your English is so good. And I was just like,
how did you learn?
Said you're so articulate. Is that a compliment?
Should I be offended? Microaggressions like that, yeah.
But with the name thing, I get it. There was somebody that, this girl in the UK that called out like a whole bunch of people. And she was basically saying your name, it doesn't matter, where you're from, who you are and everything, be proud of your name. And I thought back to like when I was in school, and they would be like, Tulu? Is that short for Tallulah? And I'm
Lord.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Tallulah. No, because you can't fight everyone, right? It's exhausting. After a while, I was Shay.
But guess
Everybody
what?
calls me Shay.
But guess what? Why can they pronounce Schwarzenegger?
Because
why can they pronounce all these different things and they can't say Adegbemi Sola?
There were so many things. And I also think even the way children are being raised. I know people who have come back because their kids are picking up some very interesting interests. I'm not gonna before they come and fight us. But, so many different things. I know that a lot of people now. Some people's entire lineage or the destiny of their families has changed because someone was able to make it out there. Yeah. So I do understand the anger. Someone who maybe they're in their life, nobody had ever seen a plane, and then one brother. No, it's true.
Why is the anger directed?
No, because they're looking at it, and it's just human beings being human.
I feel like even not just that. I say all the time when there's even in Canada, I would meet people that would say, "Why do you go to Nigeria on holiday every December?"
Some people say they'll never go back.
I'll never take my child. Blah blah blah. And my husband used to get worked up, and I'm like, you don't know what people have been through in Nigeria. Or Nigeria has shown people shaky. How do I want to say, Nigeria is the greatest thing to people whose they've lost family members, their family members have been kidnapped, they've been through hell, so they've lost people during NSARS, and in my privilege of not experiencing these things, I'll not be like, oh no, Nigeria is the greatest.
That was the word.
Yeah, so I think people should Japa everybody should do what they want.
That was the word.
Honestly, whatever works for you. That's actually what I think. Whatever works for you. If you feel that there are a few of my friends that they feel that right now, especially with, what they're doing work-wise and their children's ages, they feel that the best place to be is here because the whole world is crazy. The whole world is crazy. So I absolutely get that.
Yeah.
There was a post that you did.
Oh, Lord.
I think it was talking about, is it the real cost of Japada? And,
oh, yes. Oof.
And that was, I watched that and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is my normal life without me even realizing it. The fact, and there was something that you said that I was just like, I didn't even know we were doing this. The fact that you can get like an internet provider, but you also have to have a backup for that.
I'm on 2 now and we need to get a 3rd.
So explain that for those who haven't seen the post. So things, and okay, because she told me about it.
Yeah, so I did a video about, cost of Japada. So I can't even remember what I did. But needing backups. So you can't just have one bank account, lest you be disgraced.
You can't have one phone line.
You can't have one phone line. You can't have one internet provider. You can't just rely on NEPA, PHCN, whatever it is. You need inverter. Not just inverter.
Gen.
You probably need gen and possibly even solar. Right now in my house, we have NEPA and we have inverter. We're looking for how to upgrade the inverter. And we're also looking at how to get solar as well because we're fighting for our lives. So
it does.
It's not one and done. You always need extra.
It's really stressful too. And expensive. And when you complain, sometimes people look at you like your own is too much.
Yeah.
But when you have lived in a society where you just have one thing, one internet service provider, one bank account, you don't have multiple phones because you're worried about the network failing. You can buy an item and you are rest assured that it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, you can return it and they'll give you your money back. You can go somewhere, you live in an apartment complex and you can tell them, whoever, I don't know what they're called, the facility that takes care of the apartment complex and say, my sink is clogged. And they'll say, oh, we'll go in there when you're away and fix it. And nothing will go missing.
Lord.
It cannot happen here. Something will develop wings. Something will go. Like, unfortunately,
and it won't even be fixed properly.
Exactly. If you open your phone now, search plumber.
You see like 5 names.
Electrician 5. Search. So now I've started putting in this section. I've started putting reviews.
Oh Lord.
I've started putting we'll be late but we'll do the job well. I've started putting don't bother even if he's the last person on earth. I've started putting very expensive and a thief. Very so that you will know which one is which because you cannot remember. You check electrician, mechanic, who are people that we call most of the time. Plumber,
AC guy.
AC guy. The AC guy will swear. I go to this church. I don't lie. But the thing started dripping on your head in the middle of the night. Yep. So what did he fix?
But then I also think that in terms of artisans, how are they trained? Is it not just to learn from, come and sit and watch, I did this tweet about artisans a few weeks back and oh my gosh. And it was one of those things, it was a bit of banter. I'm not going to mention his name, but he knows himself. But there's a certain person that we fight intensely. Yeah. You literally will think we're in a relationship. Yeah. But it's because first of all his work is fantastic. If you come to my house and it's your first time in my house, I'll actually be like, oh, he did that, he did that. Oh, he's so good. But when I have to call him to work, to do something, I have to just first give him a warning. Yeah. I have to give him a warning and just be like, look, just don't come with that, and he'll come. And then I'm like, give me a deadline when you think you can bring. I'm like, no, don't tell me when I want to, just say what you think you can do. He'll be like, okay, a week. I'm like, cool. A week goes by. What happens? There was one day, he literally had me acting like a crazy ex. I called him back to back. No, he wouldn't pick up. He was supposed to come and deliver something that day. He didn't pick up. And I called him back to back to back. I think I called him 20 times. And I literally had stayed home that day. So I think I'd spoken to him earlier. Yeah. And he's like, I'm almost there. I'm not
lying. And they won't show you.
I'm like, why? Just tell me you're not coming.
Didn't. And then later on I found out there was some problem or whatever. But I kid you not, there was one time, so we had to get it. We're actually in a relationship because somebody has to be a mediator for us. So that person,
and you'll still go back.
I will.
You'll still go back.
I think abusive relationship. So that person had to be a mediator for us, and I just remember saying to her, I'm so upset. Blah blah. He did this. He did that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to his shop. And she's like, what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to burn his shop. He hadn't delivered. He wasn't picking up. And I was like, I'm going to burn his shop. So she had to,
You have to commit arson. Are you joking?
I was that angry. I was that angry. So the shower eventually, I was already driving. I was already like, and I didn't even know exactly where shop was. So I was trying to and then, so eventually I didn't burn down the shop, thank God. But his work is...
It takes some time, I guess, I'm sorry, to get used to the anyhowness.
Yes.
That's the word.
This will be the 20th year or 21st since I moved back. And some things still like
trigger you.
Lateness.
Lateness without communicating.
Mine is not communicating.
You say 1 p.m. At 1 p.m. you won't see them. They won't say anything.
It's not a suggestion. Do you
Tell
understand?
me you're delayed.
Like that.
Tell me there's traffic.
It is the non-communication. That is what gets to me. Because the day that he didn't show up, he now said something about a car, and I'm just like,
why didn't you tell me?
My nigga.
I could have done something
What you really should have just said is, this is what's going on. Because I sat in my house for hours and hours and hours waiting for you. He was like, he didn't want to upset me. I was like, well, you freaking did upset me. I was like, what you should have done is just said, this is the situation and my ETA is this. What would you like to do? Should I come tomorrow or whatever?
Yeah.
But you had me sitting. Then
it's the anyhowness.
he's like, okay, they fixed this thing. I can come at 6 o'clock, or should I just come tomorrow? And I was. And then when I get angry, because I can't really speak Pidgin. So I try and, speak Pidgin. But when I get angry, I go very North London, like, you fucking crazy man. What the fuck you doing? And then now looking at you like, what's wrong with this one?
Have you ever had furniture delivered at midnight to your house? Because the furniture maker is batshit crazy. Or like, there's so many things. Or people wanting to charge premium. But they are not giving premium service. They are not giving, they don't have the luxury. They don't have the expertise but because the person beside them is charging XYZ, I must charge that amount. But you have not reached that level yet. And there's so many things. So
why did you come back to this?
So I mean,
why are you here?
Would you say
why did you come back?
If I were not, I would say this, that if I were not,
my dad told me to come back.
I was strict. My father said I should come visit, and the next thing you know, I was doing NYSC. And then and the next thing you know, my career took off. But I would, because my plan was to move to New York and live my life like
Gossip Girl.
Sex and the City. I was gonna be Carrie, just a Nigerian Carrie in New York. But we think
it's like an abusive relationship. You can't leave.
It is.
I mean, you go, but you come back.
You can come back because you can afford it.
There's some very toxic situations. For me, it was my dad had been on my neck. As soon as I graduated, my dad was on my neck. Like, okay, you need to move back, come work in the family business. And I'm just like,
do you think he was worried about you marrying a foreigner? I think that was a big problem from my dad too. He was very worried that I would end up with.
I don't think so. I mean, the fact that I went through my teenage years without getting pregnant.
Do you have any siblings that are married to foreigners?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they did, and so my dad, that wasn't it. I think he just wanted me to sort of be within the the family business. Okay. And then the real reason that I did move back. So he'd said that, and I was just like, oh yes, daddy. I'll just be like, yes.
Move back out of Dirty December.
There was one Dirty December. It was mad.
And you never
was
went
crazy. So I went back. Okay. I went back. But in all honesty, when I was working in London then, it just felt very, that factory feeling that there was just no buzz. And I came to Lagos and there was just like a buzz, and it was just,
there's always something happening. Like, look at where I am.
Oh my gosh.
No, for real. I'm minding my business. Next thing I'm on air.
Yeah.
That's Lagos. And that's Nigeria for you.
I was at the point where, again, I'm sharing too much, but it is what it is. I was at a point where there was a severe drought in my dating life.
Oh Lord.
Because if you live in London as a black woman and you date black guys, first of all, all the races seem to want black guys now. So first of all, you see a nice looking black guy. Yeah. Is he straight? Is he single? Is there somebody that he's does he want a relationship? Does he date black girls?
Does he have scoring?
Do you understand? So by the time you go through all of that, it's getting smaller and smaller. Yeah. And it's weird. And then I came to Lagos.
They're rushing you.
And everybody's checking for me. And I'm just like, I feel like a queen bee. Yeah. No, I'm being petty. But it's true. It's true. It was just nice. It was just nice.
Your truth.
I felt like, I felt like sirloin steak.
Oh Lord,
sirloin steak. proper premium
There's
cuts.
enjoyment here. Like there's life. I don't know how to explain it. There's this vibe.
You know what?
alive.
I think that
Maybe try not to judge us, by the way.
No. It's not even that. I just like that she has also acknowledged her privilege.
Lord,
Yes.
Because for
and my
Nigerians,
privilege is not even privilege, you know,
girl,
like that.
please, because
Your privilege
it's
is
not
look at
really.
your skin.
It's not even
Look at
privilege.
your
It's not really
skin.
privileging.
No, it is privileging because we've seen situations
Yeah.
where somebody jackpas and they can't afford to come back. It might not even
That's
be
the thing,
it might not
oh.
even be a case of
Yeah.
their papers are not complete. It's also a case of how many shifts is this person going to have
get
to
a
work
ticket.
to be able to buy tickets, especially now that tickets are so expensive.
Very true.
You know, or you know, they can't.
And then there's
so
people
many
that rely
things.
on them back home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
black
easier for them
tax,
to
the-
make money there and send back home than to come home. Some of them can't even face their families home.
Maybe
I
that's-
actually had
maybe that's
DMs
why
from,
the anger
from people
is, yeah.
saying, I want to come back, but the shame, I'm ashamed. How will I face people at home? I'm like, come back. Like, who is holding you? But everybody's situation is different. There's so many varied situations.
But I also think that's tied to thinking that these countries are the promised land. Because a lot of people think that, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to Canada. Oh my gosh, my life I'm about to be like a billionaire,
Yeah.
trillionaire. And first of all, those countries, Canada, the States, the UK, they're expensive. Expensive to live in. And they don't really have a situation where you are not working.
Yeah.
As in you have
You can't chill.
you have to hustle, you have to, you know. So I think when people kind of think about these countries and they
Yeah.
think all I need to do is just touch that promise land, and it's actually not the case.
But I think
it's
also,
really not
that
the
being
case.
said, there's a case for people who just want to be okay. They don't want to...
Not everybody wants immense
They don't want
wealth.
to
They
be
just-
billionaires.
No, but even being okay, in like these countries, it's actually not easy. When I say being okay is, okay, you're able to pay all your bills on time. You're not, you know, begging, you're able to feed yourself. You're
Yeah.
able to like pay your rent. You're able to pay your mortgage and everything.
Yeah.
When you break that down, and you say that is just okay, you still need to do a lot to get to
But
that
isn't
place.
that the same for
there are
people
also
here?
everybody's okay is different.
It's different.
You know,
Everybody's okay is different.
in a case whereby somebody, maybe like again I've said, that's why I don't make fun of people who have personalized plates. I remember somebody was making fun of someone who was driving a used Camry and he had personalized plates, and I said, you don't know where he's coming from, or she. I said, you don't know. Some people are so. I remember meeting someone who said she was the first person in the history of her family to finish university. Finish high school, finish university, not get pregnant. It had never happened in her lineage. Her father's side, mother's side, so everybody's case is different. You know, and that was an American. You know, there's some people who they've not even reached Ogun State, not talk of Lagos.
True.
Before you now start thinking of abroad.
Yeah.
There's some people who have not, you know, like I was looking at someone who they were working in Walmart. They had been working in Walmart for years. There was a Nigerian person who went abroad, and the person said, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I have my little flat.
Yeah.
I have my little car.
There's lights.
My house is 5 minutes away.
And the thing about that
and nobody is going to jack me. I'm okay.
Yeah. The
Do you
thing about that
understand?
is, if that person is working in a grocery store and has an okay quality of life, they have their apartments, they can afford payments on a small car. Can you work in a grocery store in Nigeria and afford that kind of thing? Do you get? So even if you're someone that's a bank teller, at least your small money will still give you comfort. And I think that's it for a lot of people.
Do you ever see yourself ever moving back?
No.
Outside? Oh, sorry.
Oh, outside Nigeria.
Outside Nigeria.
I'm interested in like francophone countries, personally, like Congo. Don't see Jamaica.
I think you're restless.
I actually am. Jamaica, Congo.
Jamaica sounds nice.
Yeah, just where black people are.
I mean, let them recover
I know.
first.
I'm not saying Jamaica is a francophone
Barbados.
country, by the way. You know, just black countries, and I'm also fascinated with French. That's why I said francophone countries.
Okay.
But for the most part, now that I have a child, I can't be
mean,
jumping up and down.
Canada, they speak French in Canada.
Girl, bye.
Oh, she said, girl, bye.
Girl, bye. But I don't think so, because now that I'm a responsible mother and wife, I can't be going up and down. But if I had my way, I would still live in some black countries. But I'm happy here. I don't see myself moving back. Vacation, yes. Even Friday will make it 1 year since I moved to Nigeria, and I haven't gone back. My friends have been like, when are you coming
You
to
haven't
visit?
even visited?
No, visited.
wow.
What am I visiting? So the thing is,
Are you sure maybe you didn't
I
just go to
would-
the wrong country? Maybe you should have
I've
gone
lived in Canada like.
You lived in the US,
almost-
you lived in Canada, and
Yeah.
you lived in France.
Yeah, but France was 1 year, US was
Okay.
2 years, Canada was like.
Maybe you should have
Which
gone
one
to the
was your
UK.
favorite?
My favorite was. Canada. It's almost like home. I spent the bulk of my adult years there, I would say. So I don't hate it. My sisters are there. My friends are there. Family is there. I still have a house. Like, it's still sort of home. I'll visit at some point, but I'm not in a rush.
I love it for you.
I'm not in a rush. I'm enjoying my. You see me coming to swim class just in my boo-boo, looking like a big madam.
She's so funny. She's so funny.
No, I'm not in a rush to go back. Maybe next summer I'll visit, but
Okay.
now I'm like, it's far. It's too far for
Screaming.
me.
All right. Thank you so much for stopping by.
This has been absolutely hilarious. Best of luck with everything. Best of luck trying to relocate to Jamaica. Let's just see. And stop dragging her. It is, she has
just a girl.
acknowledged her
Everyone should be able to do what
and
they
do what you want
want.
to do. Because there's some people that, there's some people that I know,
You know,
that
somebody
the minute
even
they
said
travel,
they won't be surprised if I was deported.
Oh my God.
So on TikTok, I was like, I'm sure they deported her. I was sorry.
did you bring out your passports? Like,
Another person was like, oh, her husband must have a federal government appointment. I was like, amen. Hey, I don't know where it is. I've seen all sorts.
When you can't relate, it sounds like a lie.
Yes.
Some cases, you know. So
yeah, I get it. Absolutely get it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much and your Instagram handle again. I don't think we mentioned that.
MommyChopLife.
I love
MommyChopLife. MommyChopLife. And she's got, and you're still doing your Japada diaries.
Lord, when I see road, I post. But yes,
Yes. So go check out Japada diaries on her page. And I like you.
Yeah, she's so
Thank you. She's so
In previous episodes, we have spoken about how to take care of your skin, certain skin issues, and that segment was brought to you by Beauty by Daz. We have a fantastic guest here with us today. She's Miriam, and she's an esthetician from Beauty by Daz. So welcome, Miriam. How are you?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so today we're talking about acne, we're talking about hyperpigmentation and other things. Can you tell us what acne is really?
Okay, so thank you very much. Acne is a skin condition actually that whereby your pores are clogged with oil and dead skin cells, thereby causing you to break out.
Okay, so that's basically as simple as it is.
That, yeah.
And for those who don't know what hyperpigmentation is, can you again touch on that?
So naturally, we're people of color. We produce melanin, right? The pigment that gives us our color. Right. So overproduction of that melanin causes hyperpigmentation. Just like when every part of like every other part of your face is looking darker than, where like maybe this part is darker and this part is lighter. So this part that is darker is the hyperpigmented part. So it's just like, overproduction of melanin actually.
Okay. And how does this relate to acne?
So once you have acne, it's very normal for you to have spots after treating, or whether you even leave it to dry up on its own is very normal.
So basically scars. Acne
Acne
scars. Okay.
Acne scars. No, acne scars is different from hyperpigmentation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And why? Okay, and like you've already explained why it is so common with those of us who have melanated skin.
Yeah.
But what are the major things that trigger acne? I know growing up, people used to say, if you eat granuts, you break out or whatever. What are the things that trigger acne?
So bad skincare products could cause acne. Your hormones could cause acne. Genetic, it could be genetic, right? Then stress, and also what you eat.
Okay,
Yes.
so what you eat also definitely amongst other things.
Yes, a bad diet. Let me just put it that way. You need to have a good diet to have a good skin.
Okay.
And why does acne seem to vary from person to person? So you have somebody that has, one or two, spots here, and then you have people that have severe acne. So why does it differ from people to people?
So like I said, your hormones, and also it could be skin type. So we have different skin types. We have oily skin, we have dry skin, we have combination skin. So for people with oily skin, they are very, very prone to acne because they are already producing excess oil, right? So they have every tendency to break out because of the overproduction of their oil. I said acne is when your pores are clogged by overproduction of oil. So for people with oily skin, they tend to break out more. Then people with combination skin also. So your hormones could also be a factor when you're ovulating, you tend to break out when you're on your period. So for people with hormonal acne also, you need to orally take care of yourself
actually take medicine.
Yes, there are medicines you could take.
And how do you figure out which kind of acne you might have? Like, I've got a spot here now. Oh, my makeup artist. Oh, it's here.
Okay.
You covered up very nicely though. Shout out to Lavender. I've got a spot here now. So what would you, if you're looking at my skin, what would you say this type of, is this acne? Or is this just like what would you say this is?
Acne is a skin condition. So there are things that make that skin condition. So we have types of, types of acne. Whiteheads, blackheads, papules, pustules. So for cystic acne, those are the painful ones that I would always advise you see a doctor for. You can't just use skincare products to take care of those ones.
Are those the ones you shouldn't pop?
The ones you shouldn't pop is papules. Those ones are red and big. Then for pustules, they are the ones with pores. So those ones that are red and big, they will just cause you pain. So I'd rather you leave it and treat it. And for the ones that has pores, right? Once you pop, then you start to have those dark spots. Those ones would definitely leave like dark spots. So I would always advise you see a doctor or your professional to treat that for you instead of doing it by yourself. Right.
Okay, but that's I mean, if you think about the average person, who has time to go to the doctor every time they have a pimple? So what can you do?
The cost. You have to pay consultation fee.
Yeah.
Then you now pay for whatever it is they prescribe for you, and it's a lot of money.
So what can you do? What kind of products can you use? Because I know there's certain products you can perhaps put on, spots to calm them down, and to also ensure that even if there is scarring, it's minimal scarring. So what can we do if you don't have the time and money to book an appointment with your skin doctor?
So if you don't have, I just hope everybody has money.
I have money in Jesus' name.
Everybody has money. So if you don't have enough to, go see an esthetician or like a dermatologist, right? I would advise the type of acne you have before treating, like your acne. So if you have whiteheads, right, you want to look at products that has niacinamide. Those helps with your oil. They help to control the oil production, right? And also salicylic acid. So it goes beyond the top layer of your skin. It goes deeper, right, by helping you to, it helps to like unclog the pores. Those pores that are clogged, salicylic acid helps to unclog. So if you have like whiteheads, you want to look at products that has niacinamide in it. We have few products like Good Molecules niacinamide. We have Jumiso niacinamide. You want to incorporate those ones in your routine, and also salicylic acid to help you to unclog your pores. And you want to look at products with retinoid also. Okay. They help with skin cell turnover. So
retinoid, not retinol.
So retinoids is they're like, it's a family of you have retinol and all of that. Exactly. Okay. So if you have retinol in your routine, it will also help, right?
So all these things that you're mentioning, what sort of products or treatments can treat acne and hyperpigmentation at the same time? Is it possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
But I would advise you treat your acne before treating hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
Because, once you treat acne, you're left with spots. So focus on the reason why you're going to have spots in the first place. Like, get rid of what is going to cause your spots. Then you now take care of your hyperpigmentation after. And for hyperpigmentation, it depends on the type you have, right? So if you're having PIH, that's the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, the spots after your acne is minimal. You can always treat it together with your acne. But if it's pigment, like you are very, very pigmented, you want to take care of your acne first before your hyperpigmentation. So I always advise treat your acne before hyperpigmentation.
What does a simple, effective, acne-safe routine look like? Because I've seen some cases, we've all seen the girls or guys on TikTok or wherever it is who have like a 10-step skincare routine every day.
I do.
So
sometimes twice a day, in the morning and in the evening.
So what is a simple, effective, acne-safe routine? What does that look like?
Okay. So you have a face wash, a toner, moisturizer, your treatment, and sunscreen. Okay. Your treatment before moisturizer.
So that's 5 things.
5.
Okay.
Yeah. So for your face wash, you can do any face wash that works for you. I would pass for that because it's not a leave-on product. You get to wash it off. So for your serums, that's the treatment, your toner that would sit on your skin, I'd advise you, splurge on those ones. Buy the ones that are doing the work. So if you have a face wash that is not doing much, your toner could have salicylic acid in it. Then your moisturizer is a barrier repair moisturizer.
Okay.
While helping you to treat your barrier is also, helping you sit in all your products. Then you don't want to skip sunscreen.
Okay.
Sunscreen is a must-have. So for treatments that you could have in your routine for acne, you can have azelaic acid, you want to have benzoyl peroxide, you want to have salicylic acid, and retinol, like I said. Niacinamide also.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, let me ask you a question that I'm sure you've had lots of times, but I don't need to use sunscreen. I'm black. I'm black. Do I need to use sunscreen?
Oh, I'm not a woman.
Sunscreen is for everybody. Skincare is for every gender, whether you're a man or a woman. So like I said, sunscreen is very, very, very... So whether it is raining, it is sunny, you want to use sunscreen. And also whether you're indoor or you're outdoor, you want to use sunscreen, because I promise you, those sun rays coming in from the from your windows, they are even more harmful than the ones you get from outside.
Oh, wow.
So we have UVA and UVB. So UVA is the one that gives that help anti-aging, skin cancer and the likes. Then UVB, they are the ones that cause the hyperpigmentation that we have, the BIH that we have, and all of that. So you want to, and also some people can say, oh, because I'm pregnant, I don't want to use sunscreen and all that because I'm trying to avoid. Yes, because
I'm trying to avoid what?
So it's not all sunscreens that can be used by pregnant women.
Oh, I see.
Even skincare. I had to abandon a lot of my skincare.
I didn't know sunscreen.
While pregnant, I had to stop.
So for chemical sunscreen, pregnant women can use it. So you want to move to mineral sunscreen. Those ones are safer for pregnant people. So whether you're outside, you're indoor, you're black. Fun fact, we are black people. We get to produce a lot of melanin, more melanin. So you want to protect yourself from the sun. And I get it that, in those days, there was no sunscreen and our mothers and fathers were okay. But those days, this skincare that we have right now, they didn't have it then. They were so cool, whatever they were using. So, we can't use that time to judge now. A lot of products that we have now, a lot of actives that we're using now, we need to protect ourselves from sun. So,
what can people do? Like, what lifestyle or dietary changes influence acne or pigmentation the most?
So, diet, you need to eat healthy. So for lifestyle, for people that often go out, stress, environmental stress, dust, smoke from buses, getting to meet people and all of that, sweat. People that are outside every day, they are prone to, break out at the slightest. If you're working, you're always outside, then you skip your meal. Sometimes when you skip your meal also, because you're skipping your meal or you're not eating so much, doesn't mean you will not break out. Your food is supposed to balance your immune system. So there are some things that once you skip your meal also, it could be a factor. So you need to eat well. If you're always outside, you need to make sure that your routine is stable. Like you have a good routine, you're protecting yourself from the sun. So
what about sleep?
You just need to have a
sleep
good
is
lifestyle. Important. Sleep, very important. And drink enough water. Enough water. I would advise also you drink, you can have ginger tea, you can have spearmint tea. You can just have those ones in a bottle. So if you're always outside, up and doing, you want to have that in your bottle. You sip when you're, less busy and all of that. So it just helps to, just balance things up for you.
What skincare mistakes do people make when trying to maybe treat acne or maybe treat hyperpigmentation?
Over-exfoliating.
Okay.
They think when they exfoliate their skin, they are doing their skin, more good. But when you're over-exfoliating, you're taking, I said breakout is caused by dead skin cells. So your skin, if you have dead skin cells, you want to exfoliate those dead skin cells out. Now imagine over-exfoliating it.
You start getting
so basically,
into the
don't use a scrub every day.
No, you don't scrub your face.
Okay. Even for your body. Yeah, I'm saying, there were people who used to use there's a particular scrub that was very popular. I'm going to mention the names. Oh, okay. But basically, that was everybody. It was very popular, especially when we were growing up. Starts with A, something scrub. And people would use that every day. And they're like, oh, you have to scrub your skin. You have to this. You have to shine. You have to this. What about hammam? Things like that. Would you?
You can't do that every day also.
Oh, obviously not every day.
But you can do that regularly.
Just add it to your monthly self-care maintenance.
Okay.
Just let it be your monthly maintenance, not something you want to do often.
Because you know what I mean, but you know when you go to that hammam,
And they
when they go
scrub
and you can see the skin on the floor.
Exactly.
Literally. So
So imagine doing that like maybe like 2 weeks or every month.
I can't even do that. I can't even do that more than probably like once a month, because I went through this phase of I need to exfoliate my skin, and I went there and I got to a point where I think I'd gotten to the new skin layer,
it was painful.
and it was I was very
your
sensitive,
face will be very dry,
and it was a little bit red as well. So what about these very interesting? I'm sure you've come across people that are like, oh, do I need to wash my face every day?
Yeah. Also, you have to wash your face every day, at least once.
At least one. We live in a hot country.
Like,
especially for those of you
exactly.
in Nigeria. How can you wash your face just once?
And the fact that you went out and like you are back home, the stress you've gone through, the people you've met on the road, smoke, dust and all of that.
Please, there's this thing that some women still do, where they will get makeup done for a wedding, go to the wedding, come back with that full face of makeup, and then go to church or somewhere the next day with that same
Oh, I thought you were
face.
going to say something else.
I still met someone recent. That used to happen back in the day, and people thought I was lying until people started confessing.
Wait, so they didn't shower, or they just showered?
They showered,
from the neck
but
down?
they wouldn't from the neck down. She was like, "Do you know how much I paid for this makeup?" I was like, "That's great, but sis, no." And even though it still looked good, it looked like she just did the makeup.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So she sleeps like this.
She slept like that though. She said, that she went to a wedding. It cost so much money. She doesn't do makeup. She doesn't do professional makeup often. But she was like, So she went to church. She went to a wedding the day before. Then she went to church, and then we were at a brunch. And I was like, "Oh, your makeup is that?" She was like, "I did it yesterday." I was like, I could never. You know how you go out and you're like tipsy, or some people are tired and they fall asleep with their makeup? I cannot do it.
I thought you were actually going to say that you go out and then you fall asleep with your makeup on. That one,
I don't do that.
I don't do it every day.
I can't.
I don't do it as much as I used to. But like every now and then I'll be like, oh my God, I'll deal with this in the morning.
I would definitely wake
Because
up with pimples.
But people that do that one that you say are people that are very lucky to have good skin.
I would say it's whether it's
You
good
won't be
skin or
surprised
bad
if
skin,
she
but
doesn't
some
break
people's
out.
skin is very sensitive, while some people's skin are more sensitive than the others. I know for a fact that if I do that, in fact, if I wear makeup for more than a couple of hours, I already know, go and wash this thing off.
Exactly. You already know
If
your
not,
skin type, so you want to be careful.
I have two voices in my head. There's one voice saying, okay, yes, do better by your skin and everything. And another voice is saying, makeup artists are expensive. So I don't really blame her. Because sometimes, like, there have been times when I've had my makeup done, right? And it's for, you get to an event and literally you're there for like an hour.
And that's it.
And that's it. And I'm just like, so what do I do now? Like, where am I
You have
going?
to find somewhere to go.
I need to be seen. So then if I know I have an event the next day, if I could run it, and then I thought you were going to say that she didn't shower. But
No, she showered from the neck down, obviously.
down.
But yeah, I was just people still do it.
I won't advise it.
Yeah, don't do. Yeah,
I'm going to do it as a social experiment. I will do it and I'll let you know how it went.
Okay. Good
And if I break out, I'll let you know as well.
Okay.
But I think the next day my makeup will be I'll be looking like a lady of the night, man. Because it's just the way I sleep. Just like one lash will be up here and everything. So she must have been like a nice sleeper.
Quick one. How can people reach Beauty by Daz? Can you just quickly give us like the social media handles, if there's something you want them to know, basically, as we round this up?
Okay. So you can always reach us at, on Instagram, Beauty by Daz NG, and also Beauty by Daz UK. So on our social media platform, the Instagram website is there. You can always click that website if you want any other thing or you are looking to get any other information. Is on the website. So once you get to Beauty by Daz NG on Instagram and also Beauty by Daz UK, you will get whatever information you can get.
Also, they were nice enough. Shout out to Beauty by Daz, by the way. Nice enough to give us like a discount code for OffAir Gang.
Yes,
so yeah, we're gonna put it on this
we
screen.
care
I believe
about
it's
you.
OffAir Gang, but we'll double check. But yeah, so you can obviously use that when you are buying beauty products from Beauty by Daz.
And let me just add, although we've been talking a lot about the face, you have products for the whole body. We were talking about a body wash that a lot of people are talking about that I use now, Natrium.
Yeah.
That's also on your.
Is that how to pronounce it?
Yeah, is it
Natrium.
Is it Natrium on
I
Natrium?
pronounce it Natrium, so I don't know.
I
can't even guarantee that I'm pronouncing it right, but I know that it definitely works for me. So there's like a glycolic acid one that I use, and there's like a salicylic acid. And we've talked about how these are very, very important for, in a way, exfoliating and brightening. Brightening, not bleaching.
Exactly.
Brightening. So, okay, while you're here, brightening and bleaching, or brightening and lightening, please give us the key differences.
So, you could be a light person, a dark person, a fair person. I should be able to use your skincare products.
Okay.
I should be able to use whatever it is that you're using. So, but once you start to say lightening, then if I'm bleaching, you can't use what I'm using. So you can be a dark person, and once you see someone that is looking very dark or black, you're like, oh my God, this person is shining. Oh my God, her skin is so fine. She's bright. She's still looking dark, but she's glowing. Looking good. She's glowing, exactly. But once you start to do lightening, you start to see products that they tell you 1 to 2 shades lighter or 1 to 2 shades out of your skin. You're already taking off whatever it is that you have naturally, and you're already trying to go deeper. And with that, I promise you're spoiling your skin. And then those type of products or those type of skin does not last long. Those people, you can't satisfy them. They would always come back to tell you that, oh, I'm already having patches. How can we, treat that? But if you're brightening your body, there are a lot of ingredients, a lot of products that can brighten your body without tampering with your skin.
Natural as well, because I was reading about kojic acid, and kojic acid is actually isn't it from fruits or something? Yes. So that's natural, and it's not like a chemical thing.
We have tranexamic acid also, it's very good. We have alpha-arbutin, but there has been a lot of narrative around these things. They are very good, but people follow what influencers say. So once they tell you that this is good, they want to go for it. Not everybody, some of these brightening products, not everything works for everybody, right? Kojic could be good for me, and it's not good for you. Tranexamic can be good for me, and it's not good for you. So you want to reach out to someone that can help you, a professional, your esthetician, your dermatologist, to put you through before you use it. So
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to check them out. We are going to put some information about the special offer on our Instagram page, so make sure you check that out. And yes, I literally have already started shopping, and I'm like, how far now? As per, what kind of extra discount can I get? But yeah, go check out their products. Once again, it's not just for the face. They have products for the whole body. And you have a store, obviously, so people can walk in. If you have any questions, if you have any sort of key concerns, you can walk in and somebody will be there to advise you and also offer you a range of products. Yes. All right. So thank you very much for stopping by. And I'll let you know how my experiment goes.
Good luck to you.
I'll be expecting.
Okay, so we have got a jam-packed episode for you. We have got our next guest. He is where do we start?
Lots of titles.
He is a media personality.
Bam.
He's a PR guru.
Gang.
He is a...
youth leader.
Yes, youth leader, voice of change. And he's also an author, and he is here to talk about his book. Please make him feel very welcome. It is Chude Jideonwo. Welcome. Hey, my laptop. My iPads.
I was about to say, okay, Oprah. It's okay. Welcome, Chude. How are you?
Fine, thank you. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Yep. I feel like I've known you like half my life.
Yes,
literally.
It's actually literally half our lives.
I swear.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah.
So you've written this book, How Depression Saved My Life. I want to know why you wrote this book.
I want to know about the title.
Right. Without spoken people, I think there's a part in the book where I said, stay with me, I'm about to step into woo-woo here. And how this book came is woo-woo. I literally woke up February last year, 2024, and heard, this is the book you will write, How Depression Saved My Life. So I tell people you can interpret it here, however you want to hear it, but that's how it happened. And I thought, no. But then, and I spoke to my people, so I have a team. My team, I said, one of them who, when I start talking my spiritual, emotional things, he's like, please, let's be grounded here. And so I said to him, I think this book I'm going to write. He's like,
why?
That's great. No,
oh, really? Okay.
So at that point, I'm like, okay, this can work. And that's what it was. I think that ultimately when I was writing the book, it occurred to me that I'd had very unique experiences in my life. But also I'd had very familiar experiences that other people have had but are not sharing. And when I fell into depression in 2016, I didn't have a guide for how to come out of it.
Okay.
And I wondered how could I not have had a guide if so many people are going through the same thing? And some of the solutions to these problems are so easy to find. That's what led to the particular book. And then when I was writing it, I thought, this is very self-referential. I'm like, I really am glad I wrote this book because I wish somebody had given me this book to read.
Yeah, it's the manual you wish you had. Okay.
Yes. Many years ago, Chude Jideonwo called me and said he had a friend who was going through something I can't share, and he wanted a book. And I couldn't find an African book.
Okay.
To say this is a practical, grounded book for a young African who's facing XYZ. And so when I finished writing it, then I knew why I had to write it. Yeah.
What's the feedback been like?
The book just came out 2 weeks ago. But people have been... First of all, I never really trust people. When they give me, I never trust when they give me feedback. Then someone say, I love your show.
They might be guessing you.
I'm a subscriber. I'm like, if all of you who have told me you're a subscriber are actually subscribers, So, but people have been really effusive in their response. First and foremost, they're shocked by the level of vulnerability in the book. They're shocked. Somebody government asked me the other day, is it like, I thought it was not actual depression until I read it. They thought like it was a metaphor, like depression, like how I was sad. And so people have been effusive in this really spoke to me. I saw myself in it. I couldn't drop it until and I thought...
So if we're all going through this, then why am I the only person talking?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you this. How did you know that it was depression and maybe you weren't just having a few bad days?
Well, I was clinically diagnosed.
Yeah. So, but what made you... Because I think what a lot of people maybe experience is, I don't know, something didn't go well at work. You didn't get this project that you were working on that you wanted to close. It didn't happen. You're a bit sad. You're upset for like a day or two. Yeah. So how do you know it's not just that something happened that you were upset about? How did you know, okay, I'm in trouble here. I need to go see a doctor. I need to go see somebody because what I'm feeling, I don't think I should be feeling like this.
Yeah.
So how did you know? Did you get to a particular point that something happened and you were like, nah, this isn't it?
Right. That's amazing. Actually, there's a part in the chapter I differentiate between, I say all of us are medical doctors now. So I differentiate between just being arrogant and being narcissistic, just being lonely and being alone, just being in the state of being depressed and having depression. They are completely different.
Okay.
Now, in my case, I was lucky. This is what I was saying, I'm very vulnerable in the book. 2015, I'd gone through a terrible heartbreak. And then I was in Kenya for business school. And I couldn't function in business school. So I told my class rep, I'm like, I'm going back to Nigeria. And then I told my friend I was going through this. And he said, I think you say a therapist. So I'm like, for heartbreak.
For ordinary breakfast.
For breakfast, it's Nigeria.
Exactly. And he says, ordinary heartbreak, but you can't function in class. And so I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. So I came and I saw a therapist. And she gave another diagnosis. This wasn't depression. So I kind of already had a relationship with this therapist, Dr. Berry. And then in 2016, so what was happening was a particular day I couldn't function for days. So I was in the apartment, in my house, closed the windows, put off the TV, didn't go to work for days. I think my assistant came in and had to break through the door to be able to get access to me or to push through the door. And so that's when I knew that there was
something
a problem.
Is wrong. Okay.
And so I went back to the therapist and she said, then she now listed the diagnosis and I explained some of it, the symptoms, and she said, if it's stopping you from your daily functioning, it is now clinical.
Okay.
That's when it's a disease. Oh. That's how I knew.
And how did you now speak to like friends and family members about it? Because I really, really have been trying to work on, my mental health over the last, how many years. And I found that unless people really know about it, you can say, I think I'm depressed. And they're like, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. Or somebody actually said to me, you just need more money. That's what somebody said. You just need more money. And I'm like, okay, that might help. But then I think it got
that might help.
It might. I mean, we could try that first.
Yes.
But it got to a point where I just was like, this just feels weird. But how were you able to have conversations with people, like people that are close to you, family members, good friends, and have them take you seriously?
So in my own case, I didn't have that challenge.
Okay.
Because I've always been vulnerable with my friends. I always say that there's nothing about me that my friends don't know.
No, okay.
And if it's heartbreak, for instance, heartbreak, I'm discussing with a friend, this is how it feels. So I think also because I don't catastrophize, so they're like, if Chude says he's depressed, he must be depressed. And we had long conversations about it. So, but I think also I was lucky, that, and they'd never seen me like that. I've been working since I was 15. I've been hard charging, and then suddenly I can't function. I had to move to my friend Adebola's house because I'm even afraid of what I would do to myself if I'm alone. So, at that stage, they're seeing that there is a fundamental change in how you're approaching the world. So now this thing you said, I say it's explain it in the book. So when people say, this is very common with other people where somebody says, oh, it's all in your mind or get over it. Maybe not in that callous way, maybe in more wise language. And I say you have to understand what depression and other mental health illnesses are. I said, imagine that a person has a stroke. And you're saying to the person, just move your leg.
Get over it.
Just move your leg. I'm like, depression is like your mind has a stroke.
Yeah.
So you are conscious of your mind.
Yeah.
You want your mind to move, but your mind is refusing to move.
And it's something that you feel that you have absolutely no control over.
Yes.
So I can say this because I went through, like I said, look, it's not about me today because I need 6 hours. But I remember going through this is weird. This isn't, and then I just, I think there was a moment that I just realized that, okay, something is wrong. And, when I go out generally, not every single time, I like to look, I do like my hair, makeup and everything. And I remember one time I went out with a boo-boo. Not a nice, rich, auntie boo-boo.
When you say out, where did you go?
I think I ended up going to work.
Right.
Wait, I went to work with one of my house boo-boos. And I didn't have a wig on. I just had the cornrows under the wig. No makeup, nothing. And I was just I'm just, and it wasn't oh my gosh, I had a very stressful period and, I just was busy or whatever. I just didn't care. And I just remember catching a glance. I was going to say glance or glimpse. Anyways, I just remember catching a glimpse of myself in a mirror. And I was just like, who's that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was like, who's that? And it was bad because the cornrows weren't neat. It wasn't like they were fresh. You can do the cornrows that you can rock them without a wig. No, everything, everything was just, and I was just like, that's not me. So then I just started thinking, okay, I need to, find out what's going on. And then I started reading up. Then I started trying to understand what's going on. Then I also started speaking to a therapist as well. And I think that's one of the best things I did because a lot of people are in situations like that where they just think this is it. This is what it's supposed to be like for me. And it's not. And even recently, somebody was talking to me about anxiety. And when somebody speaks to you about anxiety, I think the first time somebody, told me about that, I was just like, what's wrong with you? Just get over it. Just stop being anxious. Just stop being anxious.
It's not as easy.
It's not that, And then they break it down. And then I remember going through something as well. And I was just like, oh, I understand now. Because a lot of these things, it's just like you said, it's kind of like going to somebody that has, that's had a heart attack or something and just saying, can you not make your heart bad? Can you make sure, it's just, it's ridiculous. Yeah. So I really feel that a lot of people, unfortunately, sometimes close family members, sometimes close friends, they really, really, really don't understand mental health. It is not a case of the person's roaming mad on the streets. It's, it's true because it's deeper
I understand.
than that.
Two questions I have for you. There was a time that you contemplated suicide.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what brought you to that point? And then the second question is about the late Buhari, but let's start with... No, I'm just preparing you.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks for the notice.
Thank you.
So really and truly, we suppose we're supposed to hold your legs because
yes.
Now you dig this bit.
Yes.
So anyway, story.
Okay, yes. Thank you for the notice. I will be preparing. Something you said, I just went to, I read in a part of the book, I said, one day I realized that there is something known as the energy to live. And I knew it because I no longer had it. So essentially, this your thing, I was walking up the staircase.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't lift my leg one more time. I just got tired.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, like there's no energy to do life. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then you are in a haze. You're just doing life in a haze. It's so common with so many people. Anyway, so what happened? It was two things. I was diagnosed. So people fans of the show, I always see them in the comment section. So I twitch on this side, and so I've always had it on some level since I was young. So I got two diagnoses at the same time. I got the clinical depression diagnosis and I got Tourette's syndrome diagnosis. Okay. Yeah. And so the weight of it was too much. I was like, I'm dealing with two big things. So I spoke to my therapist. She recommended I see a neurologist. Dr. Lawal, he diagnosed Tourette's syndrome. So I said, okay, I can't do these two things. I need help. He says, look, the Tourette's is not a big problem. You're not having vocal tics. You know, it's not affecting your life. With CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, you'll be fine. But I said, no, I'm a modern person. We like drugs. I'm like, give me a drug.
Really?
For this, yes. Because it was so inconvenient. And so he gave me, I don't want to call them, but I mentioned them in the he gave me two drugs. One of them was for people dealing with psychosis. Yeah. So the idea was to overpower my nerves, so to speak, to slow me down. And so those drugs did the opposite for my mind. So, and that's how many mental health drugs behave.
Goodness.
You don't know what they're going to make it worse.
Yeah.
And so one day, I'm dealing with the Tourette's syndrome, I'm dealing with the clinical depression, I'm dealing with the side effects of these two powerful
While living
drugs.
in Nigeria.
While living in Nigeria, exactly.
Long.
Then that afternoon, because that stretch was tied to a financial situation, so the people who were talking about money were not completely wrong. Yeah. So that afternoon, the second person in the company who was helping us get the most money resigned. I just even remembered that this week as I was talking to somebody else. And so I'm just like, it's too much.
Trigger. Those were the
Too much. So I was driving back home from VI, climbed onto the Eco Bridge, and I was so tired. And I just looked at the water and then felt peace. I just felt, okay, if it ends,
at least all of these worries will be gone.
Yes, it's really, that's what's. So I actually moved to the right side of the road.
God, I beg.
And started driving slowly. And then at some point stopped. And just wanted to sit. It was like the only moment that I felt calm, that life no longer scared me, you know? And I felt at peace. I felt like I was in control of my life for the first time in many months. I don't know what made me press the throttle and keep moving.
But God. Because that's the only thing I can say about God. Honestly, you've gone through a lot. I think
it's actually very important for these discussions to happen because over the years, we've seen a sharp increase in the rates of suicide, especially amongst men. And I think that there's somebody that's going to read your book or there's somebody that's going to watch this interview and be like, oh my gosh, that's exactly like, you know, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly how I've been feeling. And I think with a lot of those people, they sometimes think that they're going through this alone.
And this is why we always encourage. I know that we drag men sometimes for having surface friendships, but this is why we always encourage you to have real friendships, because you need people beyond your guy that you vote on a bottle of whatever you go and buy in the club or at the bar. You need actual friends in your corner. I saw that I always see all these clips from podcasts, and you know, this guy, Diary CEO, always has, you know, some psychologist or some special person in his chair. And the person mentioned that a lot of times when like a married man's wife dies, if he doesn't get married quickly, it's very tough for him because he doesn't have that village. Meanwhile, women usually are okay because they have their family members, their close friends. They have all these people. You basically have your village. Yes. Meanwhile, men don't build this village. Yes. And so that's why it's always tougher for them. Yeah. And so please, especially for men, make sure you basically develop good friendships, good relationships. And for you to have good friends, you also have to be a good friend. You can't crave for the for the benefits of having good friends and not be reciprocal. You understand? So now let's talk about the late Buhari.
Yes, let's do that.
A few years ago, you led a lot of youth. You and your partner led a lot of youth to you
said this was a promised land. Come with me.
You led people to vote for this person. And I remember seeing you get kind of slaughtered on Twitter every time you would then complain because he did not deliver on what he promised. So, Explain yourself.
Well, it's yesterday I talk about this. Buhari's campaign and the criticism directly led to with Chude.
Okay.
So what had happened was one day I had written an article for the international magazine Quartz about why Africa's youth are voting for old men. And Twitter was not having it. They thought I was trying to pretend like I didn't know. So, people didn't read the story. And so I trended on Twitter for 3 days. That's never for a good thing.
God, I beg.
So so it was really vicious. It was really vicious. In fact, I think I'm going to mention the first time, this was because he's your friend, Wale Adetula was the one that put me into trouble. So I came on, and I thought, why are they criticizing me? The article is agreeing with you. You've not even read it. So Wale made the points and said, you guys haven't even read the article. He's not saying it's a good thing. And so I thought, okay, rational people are talking. Let me now talk. So I went and explained the article, and that was where the problem started. So day 1, day 2, my friends didn't take it seriously. They just thought, this is how it is now. Like, it will blow over. But I was deeply hurt. So on day 3, I went on YouTube and searched for what to do when people hate you.
Oh.
Because, okay, let me tell you what. Because the narrative was that you and your partner collected XYZ number of dollars, allegedly. And we're like, okay, make sure the youth votes for this guy. The allegations were, first of all, which I'm very skeptical about people from I did not believe that guy one bit. I'm sorry. I did not. I did not, I was not in support. I did not vote for him. But
did you vote for Jonathan?
Yes.
Right.
People started falling in love when they posted the family portraits. Yeah. I was just like, this is a page out of Olivia Pope's. If you watch Scandal, show them that you're a family person, post your family. People are like, they're so fine. Yeah. Is it fine daughters and fine sons that we're going to eat? Is that what are we here for this? Yeah. From there, he started talking, you see, he's talking to us. I was just like, and then, so at what point were you, I can imagine the nightmare to be in the forefront of a movement to convince millions of people to vote for this person.
And you did a really good job convincing a lot of people.
And then this person now does not deliver on what, Did you at some point say, hello, sir? Yeah. But you said,
what was about how to win elections?
How to win elections in Africa. Yes. What about it? Because we did the Buhari campaign, then we did the Senegal campaign, then we did the Ghana campaign.
Do you see why the allegations were like, okay?
And I explained it in my book. So when I wrote the book, I didn't tackle it because I was tired of politics. I've stopped talking about politics since 2020.
I'm just remembering.
My editor said, there's no way you can write a book about the last 10 years and not talk about the Buhari campaign. Yeah. So I explained it a bit. Now, this was my struggle. When people said, because of me, millions of people voted or whatever, I just thought in my mind, I'm like, that's an exaggeration. I'm like, yes, maybe my work did that, but, it wasn't me. It wasn't because I came out and spoke. Because you would have to really think a lot about yourself to think that you really made people do something. Mm-hmm. But then I looked at all the criticism and I thought, well...
You were a key influencer.
Exactly. I thought, well, I have to admit that if people are saying this, then I must be a key influencer. Now, here are the facts. Because you've asked directly and you are peers. I believed in the Buhari candidacy. Now you have to understand that it was a paid job. The Statecraft is a company, it's still running. I'm no longer the CEO, but it's still running. That's his job. But you have to remember that the Future Awards Africa was hosted in Aso Rock in 2014 by President Goodluck Jonathan. Mm-hmm. That's how close I was to Goodluck Jonathan and to the government. I was the only magazine editor to interview Goodluck Jonathan. I respected him as a person. If it was money, that's where I would have stayed. I had family. I was close, to the Jonathan government. Yeah. But what happened was Bring Back Our Girls. Bring Back Our Girls hurt me so deeply. And I share into the book that I couldn't see myself supporting that government. Okay. Now, when I were approached to say, look, I've heard you guys say privately that you are angry with the government. I'd broken my relationship. I'd burnt the bridge. So there was no money to be made. I write in the book that I was broke for a long. I thought I had ruined our business. But when the opportunity came for me to say, this government I've become so upset with, I now have a chance to be a key mover, I took it. And to be honest, that job, I did it with delight. Now, before that, we've done campaigns. Never spoke about them in public because they were just jobs. But this one I believed in, So that's on the one hand. Now I understand why people think, because people don't know me. My friends know me. My staff know me. People just see me and think it's just another Nigerian is money. So I understood that. Now, but when Buhari, in my opinion, failed, and I remind people that I say that because there are large parts of the country who've done opinion polls. Half of the country doesn't think he failed. Those of us in Lagos who are digitally connected, who are upper middle class, lower middle class, who are university educated, most of us think he did. There's large parts of the country that didn't think he failed. So when I thought he failed, I was heartbroken because I thought not just I could have been paid and left it, but I came out with excitement. I wrote it in the book. Look, we thought that this country,
things are about to change.
This country. I remember a friend of mine called me from Daura, from his house. I can't call the friend. And said, Chude, 1 month after, Chude, we have created a monster.
Oh boy.
And the person was reporting what governors who were close to him were saying. So it's not even just us young people that were duped. They were saying he wasn't listening to, according to them, he wasn't listening to the briefings. He had a team with policy briefings they brought. He wasn't paying attention.
Oh God.
There was a lot of humility during the campaign. It disappeared fast. And so it was a shock. Let me tell you. You know,
the switch up was real.
So there's a time when something's happened. I'll say, I've been around government circles so much. In the past few years, I've not. But where something will happen, Nigerians will say, there's strategy. I'm like, it's not strategy, it's stupidity. You are the one that thought that somebody sat down and thought we are going to do this. No. So some of the people who are experienced government people, who are governors, thought this country was about to change. So the heartbreak was deep. Now, I spoke about the book and I said, now what I learned is that I shouldn't have been so confident that he was going to change the country. Two, I should have taken seriously the people that said, but what did he do when he was here before? You know, I thought...
And that was a big...
It was legitimate. So what I learned from that is humility. Yeah, not that... I don't think I would have done anything different because I made a decision based on...
Maybe not put your face in front.
Maybe not put my face in front of you.
Maybe just do the job.
Just do the job. But yes, I was heartbroken.
This is like a little rather weird question. Why do you think Africa has this big problem of aged leaders? Like, why do we have a whole bunch of countries? Isn't it Congo that has been he's been in power for how long?
Cameroon.
Yeah, we have so many.
A bunch of them.
Why
don't they ever
countries.
want to leave?
Why do they never want to leave?
So there are two problems. One, I don't have a problem with old men in government. Bernie Sanders is almost 80. Elizabeth Warren is almost 80. You know, I don't have a fundamental issue.
I do. You know, my main... Sorry, this is like a pet peeve.
No, please.
My main thing about that is you are making decisions, making plans, doing all of this for a world that you're probably not going to be a part of.
Yeah, but countries led by younger people haven't fared better. France, for instance. You know, so on the face of it, Trudeau left in almost disgrace in Canada. So... on the balance of it...
But he's bounced back.
Why? Because he's dating Katy Perry. Please go and sit down. Go and find somewhere to sit.
So in my opinion, it's not about the age. Like Governor Fashola said many years ago, it's the age of the ideas.
I see.
You know, the people who are leading South Africa over the past 3 dispensations have not been young. Have not been old, sorry. Have not been in their 80s. It's then the problem. The other thing you mentioned that is a problem is sit-tight leaders. People who stay beyond their sell-by date.
I know, but my concern is you are making decisions for a populace that is 70% maybe under the age of 40. You don't know what it feels like to be a young person. Look, when you were young, photographs were white and black. You don't even understand. You can't even write your own emails.
I understand.
So...
But see, the people that have ruled Nigeria up until recently have all been young men. When Yakubu Gowon led us into war with Ojukwu, they were both in their 20s, 30s.
Not buying it.
You were...
Obasanjo was in his 30s the first time.
I understand, but I'm just tired of people that we've read about in history books still being mentioned now. Go away, boomer, go.
Yes, I agree on that. On a psychic level, it helps to have younger people lead the country. It helps. But I'm like, honestly, what we need are good leaders, whether they're old or young.
Okay.
Nigeria has been unlucky to have old and young bad leaders.
Isn't there some kind of like, I would think if I was to ever decide to take on the role, you know, or decide to run for governor or president or whatever, if this is something that I had to run for several times, why would I now get the position and mess the hell up?
Now that is the one I don't understand.
It's like
confusing.
Did you ever get to speak with the late Buhari after he got into office and ask, why?
Sir, why did you fuck up?
Not I. Adebola did.
Okay.
Adebola had. I can't share it.
Adebola and his red cap. What did you go and say?
Adebola spent hours with President.
And
Buhari.
what was the answer? What was the reason?
He came out of the meeting. Adebola has to answer.
Are we frustrated?
He came out of the meeting. Not calmed down. But he came out of the meeting. But you know, people say this about Buhari, but I never caught any leader this slack. I was with President Jonathan in his living room when the elections were postponed in the 2011 elections. And I know, so people were criticizing Jonathan and saying he wanted to rig the election. I was in there, he was shocked. He's like, these Nigerians will not say that I'm the one that wants to rig the election. And I thought, poor guy. So most people met Buhari and they will come out feeling like he really cared about the country. But that doesn't matter. Capacity and concern are two different things. I think what I said later was that this man didn't have the capacity to be president. So
it was deeper than that. I really think he just did not care.
You know what? We can go on and on about politics, but let's talk about faith. There was a moment, I think I
want to be clear. Yes. You know, I was attacked. I wrote clearly. Like, I didn't wait 3 months after I started to criticize Buhari.
Oh, yeah.
So there was no debate in my mind that he was a bad president.
But you know, Nigerians are very, very unforgiving.
That's fine.
I say that I can have like a certain opinion about something, and you can go and get educated, and you can change your mind. You can change your mind, but that first thing that you said,
Nigerians
that is what they hold you to. And I'm like, you should actually be able to say, okay, you know what? I've learned about this. I've read this. I've seen this, and I have a change of heart. I have a change of mind. But it's like that first thing that you said. Oh my gosh.
But let's talk about faith real quick, because this politics conversation. Let's talk about faith. So there was a moment that you decided, or you were thinking about being an atheist. Why? How did that happen? Especially knowing, number one, I know how close you are to your mom. I know that she is a Bible believing Christian. So
she's a pastor, right?
Yeah, she's a pastor.
So how did she feel about that?
Well, she didn't know about this. She read about it in the book. She didn't know about it. She would have been panicked. You know, I write in the book, I sat down in my living room and you know when the Bible says he cursed God? I didn't understand what that meant. And you know, sometimes they'll be like, these Bible people, they're so dramatic. And I said, F God.
Oh, wow.
I said it in my life. I was praying. So I got to the stage in my life when everything I knew had failed me. I've been paying tithe since I was 15. You know, even though I know I don't need to pay tithe to go to heaven, but I was paying tithe because I loved God and I loved the church. I would do all the things. I used to do praise and worship now in Adebola's house. We'd get everybody, Nathan Abbas, Tim Godfrey. I was a church boy. I had preached I'd preached everywhere. I preached at Redemption Camp, Trem, Daystar, TPH. And I'm like, and I thought I was trying to be a good person. So I wasn't just performing. I was trying to live a good life. And everything was failing. So everything they had taught me about what God is supposed to do for you when you do things for God had failed. And so I thought, if it has failed, it's two things. It's either God is a fraud or God doesn't exist. And then a peace came to me. I thought, okay, wait, if God doesn't exist and I'm the one just projecting to a God that doesn't exist, then the solution is simple.
Stop it.
And focus on yourself. I'm telling you, this is what happened. And so I said, you know what? And I felt clarity. I'm like, and I write it in the book. That is why I respect atheists and agnostics, because fundamentally, they take charge of their own destiny and they don't blame God or somebody else. Later, I learned that I thought I had a transactional relationship with God, where God was my personal genie. Where I'm supposed to be like, I did my own, you did it. So first and foremost, the Bible says many times, sacrifice I did not demand. So all this sacrifice I was doing, explaining that I do my part, you do your part, was a wrong faith.
Mommy Jew. Okay.
So what happened was, what I did then, I decided to live my faith. So I said, okay, I'm going to read the Bible again, cover to cover. And I'm going to buy the best books on atheism. I bought the Australian book of atheism, God is Not Great by Christopher Hitchens, all of this. And I said, no, I'm not afraid of God. I'm going to read both. And if the Bible is the true one, then it should prove itself to me.
Okay.
And so then I began to read the Bible. The first thing I read, one of the Bible verses I quote a lot in the book is John 16:33. Jesus said, in this life, you will have trouble. So I said, how can I be blaming God for what God has already promised me I'm going to have? So my first, it doesn't make sense.
You know why I'm laughing? Because what you were saying before, I completely get. And then one of the books in the Bible that I have the most issues with, Job.
Yes.
And I'm just like...
Yes.
I'm like, but he did it just like you were saying.
Yes.
You know, you did everything that you felt you were supposed to do. This person loved God, really loved God, and then just out of the blue, they're like, "You experiment." And that's pretty much kind of like what happened.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "But why did this happen to him?"
Exactly.
Because this is somebody that was doing everything
right.
he was supposed to do.
Yes.
It now seems as if Tyler Perry is directing your life, and you're a black woman in a Tyler Perry production. You will suffer.
Job was Taraji.
Yes. I'm telling you, I joke with Christians. Let's say if you read the book of Jonah, the book of Job ends inconclusive. God ends it by essentially doing Sheruba 1 for Job. And I said, go to Jonah. At the end of Jonah, this is the nature of God. You know, people think that Jonah went and was swallowed by the whale, and then when he came out, he agreed with God. No. Jonah came out and did God K. Because God was now making a case. But what shouldn't I have done? Jonah was insisting. So Jonah left that end, insisted, I disagree fundamentally with you. And that's what I realized in the Bible. I realized that those neat answers that pastors had taught me were not justified by the Bible itself. God embraced complexity. God did. There's so much.
And this is, I understand what you're saying. This is why, as a human being, if you know you're going to follow a particular religion, it's up to you to do your research, to learn, to read, not just seek pastor to intercede for you all the time. The pastor said, open your own Bible and do it. Don't be lazy.
Yes.
So, okay.
So that's what happened. So I began to read the Bible. And then I just fell in love with God. Not logic. I tell people, I read in the book, I said, I experienced something that overpowered my logic. And I said, there's a place in the Bible, I don't want to make this a Christian, but you asked about faith. Jeremiah 29:13, and you will seek me, which is what you were saying, and you will seek me and find me if you search for me with all your heart. So in doing that for myself, I discovered I'd been serving a false God. And now I should start rebuilding a good relationship with the God that I now understand.
I love it.
Yeah.
You were I was going to say something, but I might get in trouble for this.
You always just say it, please.
I was going to say you were like a lucky baby man trying to have a transactional relationship with God.
So why would you be in trouble anyway?
All right, why would I be in trouble? A lot of my friends, moving swiftly on.
Yes.
All right. So
Thank you.
you've been extremely vulnerable in this book. Do you think you shared too much? Do you have people that maybe have read the book
And they're like, why are
they're
you?
like, that was a lot?
I'm sure I shared a lot. Too much is subjective. But yes, because yesterday I was talking to someone and I'm like, I was talking about the things I shared in the book. And I was like, this is a lot. And I thought, but you already shared it in the book.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But when I started my show, the idea of it was that I realized that the people who had helped heal me were people who shared too much. It was Oprah's life story and Brené Brown's life story and all these guys. And they helped me so much. And when I did my show, that was the mission. The mission was, can we have other people come and help other people?
This is why I ran away from your show.
This is why I ran away from the show. You are in the book, by the way. I talk about it. I talk about how baby ran away from the show for so long, but still came and cried.
Well, so did I cry? Okay, we talked about Toasting. Yeah.
And it's like tools coming and sharing about dealing with, losing the child, all these things. We don't have enough of them.
We don't.
And we need them.
We don't. I have a friend who is going through a divorce, and she shares memes on her stories. She talks about it, being single again because she was married for over a decade. And she's like, and then she says people have said to her, why are you always talking about your divorce? Keep quiet. And she's like, why should I keep quiet?
Yeah.
Like, I wish I knew the things that I knew. Like, we just hear, so and so are not together anymore. And we're not saying tell us what's really happened down to the core, but there's some days she feels great, there's some days she doesn't feel great, there's some court issues, court things, or things you learn from your lawyer that you had no idea. And she was like, and I was like, you know what, I think that on one hand, I feel like some people look at Americans and think, oh my God, they talk too much. Oh my God, they share too much. But it helps.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's So for me, what I would say is I definitely want to applaud you for writing this book because as you said, when I came on your show, I talked about something that was a very, very, very big thing for me. And the crazy thing is, I remember as it was happening, I was online all the time because I was like, I need to find somebody that this has happened to. How did you get through it? How did you not jump off a building? How did you do this? How did you do that? And it was crazy that I didn't really find a lot of personal accounts, of people saying, this is what happened to me. This is, and I was just looking for that. I was just looking for that. So well done for doing this because I feel that there's so many people around us that are going through things that you don't know about. And what Gwemi said about men in particular having solid, friendships where I've got, there's one of my good friends. I can look at her and be like, what's going on? What's happening? You look a bit, or maybe the way she answered, the call is a bit different. And she knows me now. Because I'll give her like a few days. Okay, you're a bit funny. You're answering a bit funny. Your energy's different. Then you know what the next thing I'll do? I'll call her husband. What's going on? And something happened. Something very, very big happened a few years ago, and she was quiet. And I was like, this is very strange. What's going on? Is it him? Is it your husband? Do I need to fight? Do I need to do this? And I eventually found out what happened. And I was like, okay, I understand maybe you didn't know how to like talk about it and everything, but just know I'm your friend. Whatever you need, I'm here, whatever it is. And this also reminds me of somebody that I used to work with. This was actually when I used to work at MTV in London. And it was very strange because this guy was one of the most happy and cheerful guys in the whole building. Like he's walking around like with a smile, hi, hello, whatever. And he killed himself. And for me, I just was like, what? I was like, is it that, was he talking to people? Was he talking to his family? Was he, so I became very, very aware of the fact that somebody can be smiling, but sometimes if you just spend that extra moment of looking into their eyes, you're like, what's going on? What's happening? Absolutely. And then when they answer, it's the way that they answer that's when I'm like, okay, do I need to pursue this or are they actually good? Are they having maybe just an off day or is something bigger, going on? So well done for writing this book. I think we've got time for one last question. Yeah. And then low key though, I think you guys owe us compensation.
I swear, we need reparations.
Because that was like when I got a glimpse of the new Nigeria. This is not what I expected.
That's not what I expected.
I knew it was a bullshit.
Anyway, so you opened up about your love life, how you can feel fulfilled and alive on stage, but return home feeling sad and lonely. And you had a girlfriend who was very close to you, but she left because she couldn't understand why you couldn't just enjoy your success. What did that breakup feel like for you? And if you're with someone new, do they understand? And how are they supporting you through this new journey?
Right. Well, let me start from the end. I've been lucky. And I think it's good that I spent enough time writing this book because the depressive episode was 2016. I've been lucky not to have dealt with depression or anything close since then. But that's because I buried myself in the research and I understood. I do the things every day. And everybody's not that lucky. Some people deal with recurring episodes of depression, and I share about that in the book. So I've been lucky that my subsequent partners have not had to deal with any of that. But all the people who I dated when I was going through all this were very supportive, very, very helpful, very, very... There was no judgment, no nothing. In that case, she didn't even break up with me. I broke up with her because, foolish man that I was, I thought that if I'm not happy, then there is somebody else that will make me happy.
Okay.
Do you understand? So
I see.
that was the thing. So I thought if I'm not happy...
seeking your happiness.
I was seeking my happiness from somebody else. And relationships were I write in the book, relationships were my drug of choice. Oh. And it's something that I say. The reason why I write this book is because, look, when it's come to politics, I've worked at the highest level of politics. Come to business, one CNBC business leader, Forbes 30 under 30. And so I feel like that contrast is important. That somebody who's worked in politics, worked in business, still has relationship issues. Because most people will be ashamed to say that. Because hard guy, you're supposed to be able to manage it. It's deliberate to set up that contrast. And the way I set it up was, I just finished doing TEDx Houston on the same stage with Kemi Badenoch and others. Come to Lagos, done the Future Awards. Buhari was there, Fashola, Fayemi, Asha, Yemi Alade, Dibanj. And the next week, I was down. So I wanted to set up that contrast that I could be on a professional high, but on a personal low. So what happened was, that's what I thought. I thought I was looking for my happiness in other people. It's a cliche. I was waiting for other people to complete me. So it wasn't that, but now I look back and I think that's one of the best women, human beings that God ever sent in my life. But when you are seeking it outside of yourself, you don't even know when you get gifts. You know, so I said to myself, I would get a dream come true, and then soon I'll be looking for another dream come true. Because it didn't make me feel how I felt.
There's a term for that. I can't remember what it's called. But there's a term for basically chasing something, getting it, and not feeling the satisfaction.
It's called the hedonic treadmill.
There's this Instagram I kind of follow, and it has like all these fantastic things. All right, so this lady, why don't you just spin around the block?
Because I am in a happy long-term
relationship right now. Okay, you found someone else. Okay.
And then I can't. So there's an interesting story that I can't share in public because people can snoop around, make connections, and it's not
I'm
fair.
over here already cutting the grass with my head because I know.
This is a fantastic human being. So
I know two of your exes. So I'm just like,
it's not even okay. So so I wanted to be.
Is it one of your exes? Is it one of your exes?
The
person you're with now?
Yes.
No, okay.
No. So I had to, even in telling the story, sometimes I would use all kinds of things to hide because
people will snoop around and find out
the person didn't ask me to go and be vulnerable.
Oh my God, imagine one of your exes being vulnerable and spilling things. I just like, who sent you a message?
So I had to send screenshots to my exes.
In your life ever try that?
Exactly. I had to send screenshots to some of my exes who were mentioned heavily to say, are you comfortable? Your name is not mentioned, but are you comfortable?
But it probably is easy for some people to kind of, piece it together and figure out who you're talking about.
But yes, I also think that, again, one of the things about being in a relationship is that it's also...
I'm sorry. My inner amebo cannot help it.
But the good thing is that I look bad. I look bad. The person doesn't look... The person is great, So even if people figure it out, I won't feel that guilty because the person didn't do anything.
Bad or
I'm
good,
the foolish person.
I'm just over here like...
Next time Gwemi speaks to you, she'll
know the person.
But you're worried about something. I'm just like, the whole idea of somebody writing a book, including me, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes, I do.
I'm like, who?
I know, it's scary.
If Oracle was to ever write a book, I'd have to.
Screaming.
They wouldn't.
You give her like an NDA?
No, the publisher's building will burn down.
Oh God.
It cannot happen. It cannot happen.
Yikes.
Sorry.
Okay. I want to say thank you for stopping by. I mean, there's so many things that we could talk to you about apart from the book. You've done a lot. And I think that you should come back again.
Yes. I look forward to it.
Yeah, so we can talk. Maybe this time you will cry. Maybe you will cry this time.
This was fun. This is one of the good things. Let me tell you what happened. So one of the good things about doing this show is that I'm a fan of you guys. That's what I was telling you about your attention. I've watched every interview, and I'm not one of those people that say I watch every interview. I watch. And so the excuse this book has given me, because I hate doing interviews myself, is that I have an excuse to go on my favorite shows and feel like I felt when I saw them talking to the people. So this is one of the best shows that we have at the moment.
Thank you very much.
But you know that. I don't need to tell you now. You know now.
Thank you so
Thank you, sponsors. You hear that?
I was going to say, your brands.
So I'm very happy to have done it. This
Thank you.
Who are you planning to make president next?
So, I've stopped doing politics just because it's boring now.
But I'm sure you still get offers.
I want to enter.
Yes.
With each cycle, you get offers, I'm sure.
Yes, we always get offers. But the good thing is that that's one of my gifts. I build companies and handovers. So Red Media Stagecraft has a new CEO. He's been there for 4 years. He's been doing political campaigns. He's not a political figure, so he can just collect his money and keep it moving. So I've been passionate about certain people, but I've not reached the level of passion I had for Buhari. And I think that not just for me, but for many of my friends. People don't know that. I don't talk about it anymore because people think you are posturing. 2015 broke us.
I understand.
It's like you question everything you thought you knew about everything, and then now you are more humble. So there are people. I mean, I vote in all elections. I believe in voting. I even worked on a third-party campaign in 2019. That I never talked about. It's just I was so desperate. I'm like, I don't think you are going to win, but I believe in you, and I'm going to do it free of charge because I know you. And I didn't talk about it in public. That's how heartbroken I was. So I'm sure I will come back because we human beings, we have the capacity for hope.
Because we definitely need to have a new direction in this country, and the fact that we've got so many young people, so many young people, I think it's important. Do you think that we are in any way close to having maybe a female president in Nigeria?
So I think, let me tell you, no. You see, if you look, Nigeria is a funny country. Things change like this. So listen, you can literally have a situation where tomorrow somebody says, let's zone the presidency to the North Central. And they're like, who is the easiest woman to sell? So we say, Natasha, and Nigerians already like her. It will defy every political. The way Jonathan became president was that somebody died.
Women's blinking hard.
The way Nigeria's politics doesn't follow.
It's very peculiar.
It's very
not
peculiar.
linear. It's not,
Yes, it's not linear. So something can happen. And somebody says Daisy Danjuma. And people say, well, Nigerians will take it. The Nigerian politicians don't care about anything but preserving their interests. If the candidate will preserve their interests, they will realign to support that candidate.
Yes.
It's not about, they're not misogynistic. They're not even naughty. They are istic. It's like, if it benefits us, we'll do it.
What's the term for your bellies first? Like what goes into your bellies first?
Yes,
whatever
that's
that is.
basically, yeah.
So, all right, like Mimi said, we could talk to you for another hour or two. Thank you so much for stopping by. Best of luck with the book.
Roving Heights?
Yes, Roving Heights, yes. It's on Amazon, it's on Roving Heights, it's on narrativelandscape.com, it's in bookshops.
Do you know how much it is for me to hold your book?
Thank you, I appreciate that. Like when I was looking at it, I'm like, Lord, it's happening.
Read it.
Tuesday's book club.
No, do you know what? I think I don't talk about it a lot because I don't always know exactly what to say, but I'm very, very passionate about mental health. I think that I've said it many times. I think everybody should have a therapist. I think there's a lot of things that we all experienced as children that obviously frame who we are as adults. But these are things that quite a lot of these things, you need to unlearn them. Yeah. And a lot of these things are also triggers, to certain behaviors and everything. Don't let me get started. But you know what? Get the book. And thank you once again for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so welcome back. Did we say welcome back? I don't care. Anyway, so we have got some information for you, some very, very important information for a segment that is brought to you by Grabify. Grabify is a fintech company that offers US banking services. This is for a US checking account and card to non-US residents, including those in Nigeria. So users can open an account online with just their ID, making it easier to receive international payments in US dollars, spending globally, and save in a stable currency.
Yes, and Grabify is basically stress-free financial solutions, okay? Very, very stress-free for remote workers, freelancers to earn, save, and spend in USD, especially during Black Friday and Dirty December. Now, listen, we all know that if you want to live comfortably, especially in this country right now, a lot of people are finding ways to earn in foreign currencies. So whether you are a tech girl, guy, whether you are someone who's doing some remote work on the side, maybe you could be like an executive assistant. Lots of people are executive assistants. Some people are doing marketing, all sorts of things. How do you get paid? Especially because these companies are not Nigerian companies. They are outside Nigeria, most times in the US. And this is where Grabify comes in. They're basically giving you stress-free financial solutions, okay? Very simple. And a lot of us who earn money from abroad also face this financial wahala. And then there's also the people who are coming back to Nigeria for Dirty December or even coming here for the first time. I just got back. I feel that we had a hand in coining that phrase, by the way.
I just got back.
Yeah. During our radio days. So this is the wahala that Grabify solves. Those who struggle to spend foreign currency, the payment chaos at Dirty December, people who go to lounges, restaurants, beach houses, all sorts of things. They're trying to pay for stuff. And this is where they come in. They solve real life social and economic problems. Very simple. Virtual dollar card for even Black Friday e-commerce. There's so many good deals that happen every Black Friday. And then you're thinking, okay, so how am I paying for this? How do I pay for this situation without my Nigerian card getting declined or maybe refused when you're trying to buy stuff? They also have the tap to pay feature, which is great for seamless payments at social sports. about. So this is something that we definitely need to discuss, because a lot of people, especially those of you who are OffAir gang and are outside the country, you guys are basically thinking of, okay, we're coming in December, we're coming to visit, we're coming to party. How do we pay for things? Even it doesn't even have to be at like a big lounge or whatever. Even if you want to just go to the grocery store to buy a few things, how do you pay and there's no drama? How do you pay without going to the aboki to change money first, to change FX first, or to carry your cousin with you or your friend, and then you're like, okay, pay for me, I'll pay you back later. There's honestly, people go through a lot of things, and I believe that in the next episode we're gonna have someone from Grabify come and break things down to
even
us.
further.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to briefly explore this Acne Aunt segment, and this is from, let me see, what's your name? Oh, you haven't put your name, but this is how it reads. Dear Tools and Gbemi, it has officially been 1 week since my HR made an attempt on my life. Normally, I do not accept work requests on Instagram, but she was acting awkward about it, so I just thought, worst case scenario, I'll remove her from seeing my stories. Turns out, I forgot. And of all the days to forget, it had to be the day I posted OOO as an out of office on my Insta story. Guess who was the first person to view it? My dear HR, sharp woman, faster than EFCC alerts. Next thing, she sends me a message and casually schedules my usual online appraisal meeting as an in-office meeting for the following Monday.
Gang.
Knowing fully well that I'm not even in the country. I'm out here living my soft life and she wants me to teleport. Please, is this not witchcraft or at least a low-budget spiritual attack? Why is she like this? I'm asking for prayers, advice, and possibly a small leave allowance because my spirit has left my body.
I don't know anybody who likes the HR in their office. I don't know. Do you?
HR, let me tell you the honest truth. HR is not, they say they're there to protect the staff, but they're really there to protect the company.
Listen, first of all, when you work in a company, you block all colleagues. Block your boss, block your colleagues, block everybody. So I don't see what you're really, really up to. Let's be honest. Good luck. We wish you, I don't even know what you want us to say in this instance.
What can you do? Just maybe give a reason. I don't know. You had to go, if you're going to lie that somebody died, make sure it's somebody that's already dead.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So if you have to say, do you understand? My uncle died. Make sure your uncle actually is, dead, and just maybe say it was like a last minute, trip because what. He has been sick, and we were told that it was the last few days, so we had to go and be there and hold his hand. I don't know. Maybe that helps. But just go in there and chest it.
We have another one. This one says, hi, Gbemi and Tools. I need help because God has blessed me in a way that is starting to feel like a curse. As you are reading this, I currently have 2 jobs. One is remote in dollars. The other is in office in Lagos. Both pay well and have been peaceful for months. But now things have escalated. My remote job has suddenly decided that I am management material. Praise the Lord. They are giving me more responsibilities and have offered to increase my salary if I take on a leadership role. Dollar leadership, not Naira leadership. Boss. Meanwhile, my office job has also decided that this is the moment to promote me when you are too good. They called me into a meeting and said they want to move me into a senior position. The salary increase is massive, and this one comes at office respect. Office respect.
What's office
People
respect?
will now start calling me sir. Now, both sides want commitment, real commitment. My remote job wants me to lead a team and be more present. My in-office jobs wants more hours and more visibility. But I cannot split myself into 2. I cannot lead a Zoom call in America during American time while supervising an intern in Yaba traffic. I have stretched myself as far as I can go. So now I have to choose. Do I pick the remote job that pays in dollars and lets me work in shorts? Or do I pick the in-office job that gives me structure, prestige, and the kind of salary that will make my parents proud? I'm asking because I genuinely do not know which one sacrifice. One offers freedom, the other offers stability. Both offer money, and I really like money. Who doesn't like money?
We really like money. I would have loved if you'd said which one pays more. That for me is probably the deciding factor. This your office respect. Can you eat office respect?
Thank you.
You can't eat office respect, so let's leave that. I really like the idea of being in a job that is flexible.
Yeah.
Because because it allows you to do different things. So even if you have to say goodbye to your job in Nigeria and you take this one that lets you be flexible, you can actually do other things. You know, you can do other things, you can find other things to do, and you can do, everybody has that one thing that they dream of doing if they've always dreamt of dream, you know, all throughout their lives. So you could always do that. But yeah. If it was me, I love the idea of a remote job. I love the idea of a remote job.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like,
you also need to think about the prospects of both opportunities. So what's the growth plan? What's the growth plan? Are you able to like move up, or with a remote job, is this going to be the highest position for you? What other benefits do they offer? So all of these things you should also take into consideration before making your decision. And yeah, I keep dropping my tablets.
Are you that hungry, love?
No, I think I had a lot of coffee. So I'm a little jittery. So, anyways, what do you think?
I think, listen, as much as, you know, the first thing most people will say is,
how much?
Quickly just take the dollar amount, the job that pays in dollars, but they can also drop you at any given time. So how about if you're going to do that, why not maybe have them sign some sort of agreement where they can't just drop you like a hot potato, so that you won't wake up one day and you have no job. You have no job in Naira and you have no job in dollars. So whatever it is,
that's a good point. Like get some sort of commitment from them.
Yeah, so that they don't just drop you anyhow. Because you can wake up one day and they're like, so we decided to go in another direction, and the next thing you
don't need the Lagos office. So again, there's so many questions. I think obviously the first question is which pays more. That's definitely it. But there's so many questions. I was talking about the career growth, and Bim is also talking about security.
Very important.
Yeah, making sure that, okay, this option that I'm going for, they cannot just wake up tomorrow and just say, okay, we're removing your role. All of these things are very important. But good luck to you as you make the decision that is best for you.
Yeah. On the next episode, we're going to have someone come in here to basically fully explain how Nigerians can use their Grabify accounts for successful online shopping. Have you ever tried to shop from a website and they're just kicking out your Nigerian cards, or you're not even allowed to open the website at all?
Sephora.
I don't know what Nigerians did to them.
I don't you know what? On behalf of Nigerians and actually just other people that are not Americans, Sephora, why? What did we do? What happened? I can't even you go on Sephora, you look. It's almost like when it smells the Nigerian in you just get off, get away. And then I think Walmart as well.
Yeah.
Walmart, I've gone and I've bought. This is maybe before I'm traveling to America, and I'm just, getting stuff, that I'm gonna use there or bring back. And you go on Walmart and you buy, and it lets you do it, and then you pay. And then the next thing, you get an email, and it's almost like, take your dirty money. And I'm just like, what the hell? So yeah, a lot of sites like that. But continue. Yes, I've experienced that.
Yeah, before. And also if you're a remote worker and you are earning from platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and the rest, she's going to fully explain how you can also earn while maybe you are in Yaba or something and you are earning money with a company abroad. They'll basically explain exactly what Grabify can do for you. Now, let me spell it for those of you who are wondering or have never heard of this platform before. It's GRAB, just grab, then R, then FI. It's very simple. All right. And they provide basically a fintech platform that provides Nigerians with US bank accounts. Really simple debit cards. You can also save in dollars. You can also do your investments in dollars and so many other things. All right.
On that note,
we want to say thank you.
We want to say thank you so much for watching.
It's been a packed episode. But listen,
my throat is parched. Let me
drink gin.
Who drank my drink? I actually didn't finish it. Who drank my drink?
While we investigate who drank Tuzi's drink.
Yes.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Yeah, coming here every week, not subscribing. And is it costing money? Oh yeah, please, thank you.
It will take 2 seconds of your time. Just click on subscribe, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Have a super blessed week, and we'll be here next week.